Hello, everyone. We're going to watch some more Star Trek today, and hopefully all the audio is correct because I changed how Discord interacts with the audio and like people's different volumes. So if people in the Discord could say some words so we can gauge our relative volume. Okay, so it's not, hang on. All right. It's not actually going through to Discord at all, to stream at all. Give me a second. I need to keep fixing stuff.
I'm
Okay.
Testing your playback sound system.
Okay, it should be going through now.
There we go. It's on it now.
The barrel did
This is
nothing
why
wrong.
we have the audio test.
The barrel.
Greetings,
Whoever can hear this, put apples in the chat to verify you can hear.
Yeah,
Apples,
okay.
apples.
So that's the Discord audio, and this is my audio. And I mean, what's the relative sound? Who do I need to drop down? If anyone. Or maybe it's okay. I don't know. I guess I could listen to it back myself, but I have you guys here.
Alright, for audio testing, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Actually, you were rather loud, but I can just turn you down on my end. That all works out.
Yep. Of course, my next
Ooh, the chat responded with apples. I feel
That's
special.
completely unhelpful. We're doing audio tests. We're not talking about apples. How does the audio sound?
It wasn't an audio test.
This whole time
What's
we
the
were mad
relative
at the
volume?
barrel, but maybe it's the shelf that's evil.
You should, in honor of cause and effect, you should ask us to do another sound test.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the first time the Enterprise explodes and cause and effect, we need to, like, go back and watch ethics over again.
It's like
Valen, we're getting a
after
lot of
resets
background
again, you
noise
should, like,
from you.
And then next week it starts off with a university episode.
Does it? What? Hang on. What's next week? Oh, is it the first duty next week?
Yes.
The first
Duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth.
Whether it's
The whole
scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. It's the guiding principle what Starfleet is based.
Oh,
And as the kids say, Starfleet is pretty based.
I am
It's pretty
terrified of watching ethics, because I think if there's one joke that, like, all of us, or as many of us, use in almost every stream, it's the fact that
God, it's a
Worf
barrel.
gets easily defeated by barrels in this episode.
They go to the cargo bay so often, and there's always barrels
to see
there.
it.
Are you going to talk about like the darkness of like killing yourself, or like the ethics of suicide, or something like, oh, it's going to be a moral quandary for us to watch it? But no, you were just.
I was expecting to
barrel.
cling
God,
on
it's a barrel.
suicidal tendencies, but no, it's just a barrel.
I feel like the entire ethical dilemma that the episode is named after is just going to be completely overshadowed by.
Yeah, that's fine.
Worf being
By the way,
bold.
for the people in the YouTube chat who are YouTube members, I did add the barrel emote that is now available. If it's not showing up, you might have to refresh because I just added it. But it's there. Yeah, there's also the bit in this episode about the lady's kind of a Nazi doctor because she's just experimenting on people without anyone's permission, including the patient. It's kind of messed up.
According to the Worf effect, he's defeated by the villain of the week to show how strong the villain is. So
Yeah.
The
that
villain is
is-
barrels.
So 1 minute to start.
Alright,
Everybody be queued up to TNG Ethics, Season 5, Episode
But-
16. 1 minute.
That
You need
kind of
to
gets
have a-
old fast and wears off quick.
We need to have a list of effects or maneuvers for each of the characters in the TNG world.
Okay. Well, we know Riker and Picard and Worf. I guess the
Worf
Troy
is-
maneuver is just
Worf
saying
is
I sense
cool.
nothing. I don't know
about
anything.
the trepanning she does.
No,
with her
the
temples.
Troy maneuvers. I'll take the helm.
This is a
Okay.
surgery episode.
It is a surgery episode. But it's future magic space surgery.
With brown socks. I can't wait. Brown socks,
Yeah.
guys.
It's future magic space surgery where none of the nurses or doctors wear masks.
All right, 10 seconds. Everybody
Oh,
be
force
ready.
fields.
Let's blur the screen. TNG Ethics Season 5, Episode 16. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I don't know why I'm doing a countdown with my fingers like I have a webcam on, but you can just... God, the timestamp is wrong. Okay, I'll fix it. Just keep going. I'll just fix it.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
like smiling when you're on the
Unbelievable.
phone.
We're already off the rails.
Oh,
It's fine. I fixed it.
terrified.
Oh, it's the bells.
It's my game on your phone.
It's off by 1 second, but that's fine. It doesn't
Hello.
matter. Oh, Jesus, that was loud.
We haven't heard each other for a long time.
Hello.
Glad to be back.
Oh, hello.
Yep.
Glad
Hello.
to hear you.
I missed you.
Oh, this is also where we find out Jordy cheats at poker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and he says he didn't check the whole cards till after the hand, but it's like that's still not allowed. Like that's that's the whole point.
Oh God. Oh God. What's that Jordy's next to? What is that?
I'm
This
terrified.
is
I'm
about-
terrified of what's
Worf
about
has
to
an
come. Like
accent
this
then.
is
Oh
the
my God.
highlight of
An
the
accent then.
entire watch-along series.
I'll only peek after the hand is over. Hmm.
It's
Also,
still
that
important cheating
ladder
because you
that
learn
Jordy was on
Yeah.
seemed very rickety. It was moving a
Well,
lot.
if we want to get technical, in cause and effect, when they're playing poker, Worf folds his hand, but he folds his whole card face up, which is also a horrible, horrible breach of poker etiquette.
I
I'm
mean,
actually
they are
surprised
just
did
playing a
close-up
friendly
of the
game.
tricorder there. That was actually unnecessary.
Liquid
I always
nitrogen.
wonder what they're playing for if there's no money.
This is
Oh, no.
shot like a
They are
horror movie.
Everybody,
Yeah.
wait.
Hey, for fuck's
Dramatic
sake.
moment.
Here.
Stand by.
Oh,
It's bending. I don't know how it's bending.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Boom
It's been
shot.
My
so
God.
wait. Wow.
he even braces for it. It just lands on his back.
He could have just moved, but nah.
Such
Yeah.
such an honorable Klingon posture there.
I'm gonna move like that.
Is he from the
Perhaps today
Prometheus
is a
school
good
of
day to die
getting out of the
from a
way of
barrel.
things?
No, not even. He's worse than the Prometheus school, because at least in the Prometheus school they tried, just badly. Worf didn't even attempt to run away.
He's
I
just
didn't
like,
know
well,
the
this is
Prometheus
my
school
life
of running
now.
away from things. Yeah.
Can someone please
didn't-
like reskin Donkey Kong so it's instead of like Jumpman, it's Worf?
Barrels.
That's right. A Klingon does not
Wait,
retreat
did-
from a barrel.
Oh, we're gonna pan off to the left. We're gonna see what color Worf's socks are in a moment.
No, they're not. Not this one.
Worf's
Do
like,
we?
I'm gonna die as I lived under a barrel.
Heavy as
Maybe,
that barrel.
maybe not. We're gonna pan left at some point in this episode.
What happened to all the Klingon redundancies that they keep talking about? It's like, oh yeah, your back's bad.
I mean,
You're
there's
just
physically not really room for
Well-
another spine.
Did he get hit by more than one
That may
barrel?
factor in later.
He's
that may
a
factor in
sensitive
later, we'll see.
Klingon.
Yeah, this
Don't
is where we
forget-
establish the Klingon redundancies in this episode. That should be good. And as always,
So-
we're going to be pointing out Saturn. It's fake molten Saturn. It's very important. There it is.
I'm gonna have to look away from the intro.
Molten
thanks
ring
to
planet.
you, Ryan.
Once it starts panning to the left, watch the stars on the right side and
Starship.
between the rings.
Yeah,
There they go.
yeah.
Goodbye.
Transition. Don't hate them just because it's the 80s.
I had a tab out, so I had to like,
I didn't
avoid
notice
looking
that.
at that part.
I always
Drives
have
me
to
up
point
the
out
wall
it's
every
very
time I see
important.
that.
So we always like to put lots of visible nebula and beautiful space dust and
Yep.
stuff like this. But you don't see that with your own eyes when you look up at the night sky, even if
No,
you're way out in
absolutely
the
not.
country.
Even
So-
if you weren't on Earth, even if you were just in deep space, you wouldn't see them with your naked eye. Not very well.
Yeah, so how sensitive would your eye or camera have to be in order to see what we portray artistically like that?
Extremely.
I mean, nebulas are very visible if you're like nearby or inside one.
Not even, because they're very,
Well, if you're inside,
I
one, you
mean,
wouldn't
as-
see it at all.
as the name suggests, they're very nebulous. They're actually they're very thin. They're not very dense. If you're pretty close to one, it won't look like much.
A
It's
nebula,
it's when you're at a
so-
distance and you're getting the entire nebula in one shot that you can see it.
Right, and they're thousands or tens of thousands of light years across. Nebulas have like 2 to 3 particles per cubic meter, and just regular vacuum of space has 1. So it's really not that much more dense. So something like the battle,
Oh, it's that one shot of Excelsior.
in Rathacon.
That one shot.
Also, hello, Jering. Someone left, so you got pulled in.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
The Q-bot works.
That's, I have to
Success.
say, that's a pretty cool bot.
They should
Oh, there's the Nazi.
They should put Worf in like one of those Captain Pike chairs.
Ah, that would be great.
That would have been a good opportunity for that.
He only
I've
communicates
done
with
a
a
few
single
times
light.
to use a
Yeah.
non-Oberth or cheap shuttle or something to carry someone to the Enterprise.
Worf is perfectly capable of like speaking and stuff, but everyone ignores him unless he uses the lights. And they're like,
Be a good
And they
Klingon.
only-
Use the beep.
And they didn't, and they still deny him every time.
This is actress Carolyn Cava playing Dr. Toby Russell. The only thing I know her from other than this is she plays Tom Cruise's mom in Born on the 4th of July.
Okay. Does she? Is she a Nazi there too?
I don't think so, but I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Okay.
So this episode I've been working on, like, just for personal fun, as fun as it could be, a little essay about what these ethics actually mean in this episode.
she
And I
looks
actually
like
kind of examine Toby Russell's positions in a little bit more detail, and like calling her a Nazi is a bit extreme because like we don't have all the details. Most of the
I mean,
stuff she
that's
talks about
intended to
is
be
actually-
exaggeration for comedic effect, but she is kind of
Okay.
messed up.
Toby,
True, but most of the stuff she talks about is that she's like, she doesn't really flout the rules as much as the episode kind of wants you to think she does, because like most of her experiments with the stuff she uses on Worf was done on, actually all of them was done on holographic patients. So like she's never actually tested it on a human. She's requested to, but been denied, and hasn't crossed the line with that.
Well, the
And
bit
other
I'm
thing that
looking,
Dr.
I
I'm thinking
think-
of, is when they're in the cargo bay and she does an unproven treatment on someone who's literally dying without even
So
clearing
she
it with
says-
Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, I think more of the issue is not going through proper channels. If you want to question like the medical viability of her experiments, that's a whole other thing, I think.
Well, so she is going through proper channels, though. She tries with Starfleet Medical, and she gets denied, and she doesn't skirt the rules. But in the cargo bay, which is the later incident, we don't really know what the status of the drug is that she's testing, if it's been approved, if there's an approval process, if it's still completely experimental, or if she was even wrong about her assessment of the patient she tested it on.
That's a pretty flimsy defense, in my opinion. Like,
It's not
just saying we
necessarily a
don't know.
defense. It's not necessarily a defense. It's just like, we don't know enough about what she's doing to say that this was completely and totally
Okay,
unethical.
we have a lot to talk
okay.
about this
Yeah, that's fair.
episode. For now, let's focus on Worf wanting to commit suicide, which
So,
is a
I like the
lovely,
shiny
friendly
space
topic. Very
blanket,
happy.
too.
well,
I like
it's
that
not
he
a
has to have
friendly,
the shiny blanket.
it's not a friendly topic, but it's an important topic. I've never been in this sort of position, but obviously many people
Yeah.
in the world have, and it's a real,
Doctor-assisted
challenge
suicide is a
for the
real
lead.
thing that people are
Yes.
going for. I mean, he's not a doctor. He just wants Riker to stab him, but
My
And
eyes keep
he's-
going to
similar.
the console behind him
he's-
where it looks like a semi-police scanner.
It probably is.
And there's the fact that Worf is a Klingon, so that plays into here where his culture is very different from, I'll just say, Riker's, which is American.
I also think. Go ahead. Sorry.
But regardless of where you come from, you can very well have that question in your mind: is my life really worth continuing living? And it's like any sort of loss, you have to wrestle with it until you resolve it.
Yeah, and I also
See,
think at the end of the episode, Worf is closer to actually not killing himself than he is at the beginning, especially the way it resolves, but which I'll save for later.
check out
See-
that rare hologram effect.
That's really good.
With this
Yeah, we-
episode tied with Voyager's hologram, it always makes me wonder what it would look like to see a Klingon emergency medical hologram. Just
The Klingon
like
EMH just kills you.
I just
I don't think the Klingons would care enough to make one.
but imagine that they would though, because how suicidal it would be. Like, I think it's time to die. It's like,
Well, I mean, even Martok,
Today,
once you killed yourself.
die.
Please
even
state the nature
Martok
of your
prefers
honorable
Dr.
emergency.
Bashir.
Exactly.
Yeah, even Martok prefers Dr. Bashir over the hologram.
Yeah. Klingons
Klingon
make great
EMH
warriors,
just
but
exists.
terrible doctors. Yeah, but
Klingon EMH just exists to certify that you died an honorable death.
Yes.
The Klingon EMH provides an honorable death when one is unavailable.
Exactly.
That's
That's just
they'll like try and kill you with the sword.
imagine that existence. You need to go to sickbay. I don't want to go to sickbay. No, not him again. No, I'm fine.
This actress always reminded me of.
If you go in complaining of
emergency
a
medical
severe injury, he hits you with a pain stick, and if you get up, that means you're actually fine. You're faking. Get out there.
There you go.
The emergency medical
Wait, who-
facility
who
on a
does this-
Klingon ship is an airlock.
That would work too.
Who does this actress remind you of?
With the EMH
The
shoving you
ca-
out
this-
the door.
She always reminded me of I don't know if it's the haircut, but she always reminded me of Hillary Clinton.
That's what I was saying. Someone could
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Like that. That's Hillary Clinton, definitely.
I can see that.
Politics in my Star Trek watch along? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't think this is actually political in terms of Hillary Clinton. She just happens to look similar.
Yeah.
But
No,
think-
that's the thing. It's not even a political topic. It's just a similarity.
now
Yeah,
tell me how you
something
feel
else.
about Hillary Clinton.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Or
So
not.
this
Or
second
maybe we
doctor-
can just
Really
move right
hot.
along.
And now she's just okay.
This secondary
She's
doctor.
really hot now. She's just okay. That's how
Honestly,
I
I
feel
have no idea what's happening in the episode anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Completely lost it.
I can't
So she
read
just
and listen.
Basically, they were discussing the
so much.
treatment for.
She just
At least
introduced
this
Dr.
is happening on
Crusher.
a Tellarite ship. Imagine the arguing.
He
Yes.
just introduced Dr. Crusher to the Genetronic replication system, which can replace Worf's spinal column.
Oh,
And
a
the success
gravitic
rate on the
mind.
holodeck. Yeah, the success rate on the holodeck.
I'm sorry, I'm
is up
distracted
to
by the Riker
37%.
maneuver. I'm just
37%. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really bad odds.
Yeah.
And Dr. Crusher said, "No, you're not going to do this on Worf."
I really hope Riker's
Well,
shoes are consistently clean. I mean, they are in a spaceship that's closed off and cleans itself. So maybe this is okay, but I still
the reason
don't
why he
like it.
does that is because he has an back injury or something
I
like
know,
that.
but you just gotta feel bad for Brent. Just right next
Um,
there. Could you move your leg?
She seems.
Riker, stop displaying
in
yourself to
that
Brent.
scene, she seems a bit quick to be jumping into what is an experimental procedure, and there's just kind of a hint of that being a little bit of a flaw there, is that she's too quick to jump to, hey, we should do this.
She literally kills at least one person. I think multiple. We'll get to that in a few minutes.
What
Imagine.
Klingon events have happened before this episode? Is there any Klingon father stuff? Did they leadership die? How much does Picard
We
know of
had the Klingon
culture
Civil
at this
War,
point?
which was precipitated by the Worf accepting discommendation because his father was a traitor.
Right. Okay, so he would.
We
have
had
known at
Duras,
least a
or
little bit of the
Taral,
same
son of
culture.
Duras.
Yeah. All right. So at least he
Imagine.
knows something.
Imagine being Data on duty. Poor him. He has to. Why doesn't Riker get a stool to which he can display himself? Why poor Data?
Data's not offended, I guess. He could, Mr. Android.
Yeah,
Do you
he's cool.
think-
with it.
Do you
We know
think the
full well he's
doors
offended.
on Captain Picard's ready room aren't soundproofed, and so whenever there's like a dramatic scene with like lots of yelling, like Data and like other people,
Just
on the
pretending they
bridge
can't
can, like,
hear.
Yeah, they can
Like-
hear.
like,
They
yeah.
pretend they can.
You put something on the view screen just to deaden out the noise because you don't want to hear mom and dad fighting in the
He'll just
captain's room there.
he'll just love scanning for life forms, well, just to distract himself.
Just watch episodes of Star Trek while your parents are fighting. I got it.
Why is Alexander in this episode?
What do you? Because his father is dying. Also, in that last
I
scene,
think
we
they
got
wrote the episode. and
a
they
lot
realized,
of
hey,
Patrick, or not
if that's-
Patrick Stewart, a lot of Captain Picard, and the stark difference between him and Captain Sisko. Because Captain Picard was like, "No, if you want to kill him, then go for it, man. He asked you to kill him, so feel free." Sisko was like, "You better not. You tried to commit premeditated murder." Sisko was
Near the end
not
of the
cool with that.
episode,
Okay,
Alexander
so-
and Troy are in front of a very
Which is
odd
very
meeting.
interesting considering what
Keep an eye out
Sisko
for
does
that.
later.
There's a
Considering
difference
Sisko
between
murders someone in cold blood.
there's a difference between the incident with Worf and his brother and this one as well.
I mean,
because
the
Riker
specifics,
is not
but
going
I
to
feel
stab
like Picard
Worf.
would still be down for it.
Possibly,
So-
but
so
Riker is
Alex-
not going to stab Worf. Riker just brings the knife and Worf stabs himself, Whereas in the ceremony with Kern, Worf was stabbing Kern because a warrior can't kill himself over something like a loss of honor. But apparently he can over a loss of ability.
So Alexander is fully Klingon, but he's been even less a part of the Klingon culture than Worf has ever been, and he has no interest in it. And so
He's three-quarters.
him, all
3/4 Klingon.
okay. Well, so to him, this whole situation is meaningless. He wants to see his father, period. And assuming that he is maturing at the same rate as a real life human, how old is he?
He's maturing like 5 times faster. But if he were, then he'd probably... I think he's actually only like 2 years old, technically.
What?
Maybe 3. Because
Okay,
that
so
was
then we have to call
Worf and
question of
Kalar
why-
in season 2, I think. We're in season 5.
Late season 2 even. It's season 2, episode 20. So like almost season 3. So yeah, he's roughly 2 years old.
Okay, so then we come into the imaginative question of, is he maturing emotionally the same rate he is maturing?
Hold on.
He's matured as fast as the plot needed him to be.
We know
He's going to be
that
an adult
Worf
in
and-
Deep Space Nine.
Worf is wearing a carpet.
We know that Worf and Kalar had a relationship before the series started. They talk about it in the episode, don't they?
Yeah.
So is
I
it
don't think
possible
they
that
actually-
Alexander was conceived before and she kept him a secret?
I don't think so, because
That's
Worf
what I always
was...
thought.
Worf had
Funny thing is, in
the
a few years' time.
the oath, like, oh, you must swear the oath now that
Stop.
we have mated. We must be together.
Yeah,
He
after
was very much acting like it was the
Congrats.
first time.
yeah, it's very
The
clear
medical
that
ground.
that's the first time that Worf and Kalar engaged in
Had
relations.
YouTube-friendly content together.
Look at his expression. It's like, what?
He's completely disgusted, yeah.
Funny thing is, in a few years' time, we'll be able to do this for real.
But
Worf's going
Yeah.
to need like one of those cones the dogs get.
We already it's not necessarily using existing organs and parts, but we already do have some prosthetics that operate on neural signals. So we're close to this.
Those liquid containers behind her, the 4 of them, I
Yep.
think that's in Voyager as well, if I'm not mistaken.
no, they're in
The order
sick bay all over
changes.
the place.
Yeah, that's
I don't remember in
standard
Voyager.
Starfleet medical
Kool-Aid. Yeah.
available in blue raspberry and cherry flavors.
Yeah. It's their fucking icy machine. Like, is it decorative or is it actually supposed to serve a purpose?
If it's
I'm
Worf,
pretty sure in
if it's
season
Worf's
2
birthday, he could get Baja Blast.
Fuck yeah.
I think
I
you
miss
sometimes see
prickly
something
pear.
like growing samples in there or something, but otherwise it might be just a background element.
I'm pretty sure in season 2 it was blue, blue, red, red instead of blue, red, blue, red.
They never make them purple or pink or.
Wait,
Or
is it just
no.
like a terrible functioning calendar? Like they rearrange them every month or something?
I don't think
I
it
don't-
ever changed after this.
The technology
So
of this
here's-
episode always confuses me because they claim to understand the mapping of the brain, but they can't understand to replicate an invertebrate. It's like, what?
Yeah,
How does
or-
that work?
So
they've
you're
always-
one Worf's brain hot.
You can
They've
take a
always claimed
picture
that
of her
they
brain,
can't-
but it's hard to make a new one.
They've always claimed that they can't make a replicated living tissue. So like that's the revolutionary part of this genetronic thing.
Yeah. There's also the question of, well, if they can simply measure brain impulses whenever, they can certainly build robotic limbs for him.
Maybe.
Or
There's also
unless
that bit in
unless that's what
Enterprise.
they
If
were
you remember
talking
that
about.
that repair station, the automated repair station that
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
replicator on it.
That's right.
The whole thing of that episode is it can perfectly recreate anything, literally
Do
anything.
we find out what
But even-
happens with the repair station? Like ever again?
No.
Because
In beta
I mean,
canon,
at the
it
end of the
shows up.
episode, it hints that it repairs itself.
That's
in
like my favorite
the
episode
author,
of
they
Enterprise.
literally regrow a leg.
But the point is that station, it can replicate anything, but even when it replicates like a single-celled organism, it can't make them alive.
Yeah. So here's Worf standing up solidly without anything except a bed to lean on. He's not using a walker. He's not having somebody else by his side to catch him. This is a
I mean, not
tremendous...
too solid. You can see his arm shaking. That he's holding
Yeah.
He's ready
himself
for
up
a
with.
Battle tournament. He's so
No
ready.
pun intended. This is an incredible step forward very quickly.
Yeah.
He's fallen and he can't get up. Someone
Oh.
call life alert.
I think they're
Death
missing a
alert.
great opportunity here to make Robo Worf. You know, it worked for Alex Murphy.
Yeah, just give him the Don Cheadle suit from the Avengers after Vision fucking knocks him out of the air and he falls 1,000 feet and breaks his spine.
If
So
he
was Worf
accepts
just hit by
procedure.
like a small barrel we didn't see? That's why he fell over, or what happened here?
Also, I've got an explanation, at
Oh,
least in my
socks.
head, of how the barrel fell.
Oh, look at all those
Just
socks.
kidding. I know, right? It's like I can't look at the scene ever correctly again after that.
It's a lot of different colors here that people are wearing.
Yeah.
You remember that there was that sort of frost on that one barrel? And so my
No, but I
theory
believe
is
you.
that-
Yeah, there was
Okay.
frost on one of them.
so there's
Yeah.
frost on one of them, and that was the bottom barrel, and so that caused either some collapse or corrosion in the bottom barrel, which was naturally supporting the top barrel. And so when the
It's a
bottom
variable gravity room.
top one fell,
Her pad looks
Imagine if this
different.
room malfunctioned right now.
Your barrel forensics.
Look at the pad she's holding. That's different from everything that they've had. Very sleek.
So she did. I don't know if she's even tested this before. This new thing she.
No, she wouldn't have.
You can't.
Gates McFadden is really good at this episode.
So there was a proven treatment that would have saved him, and she just did a medical test instead and got him
Could
killed.
have saved him.
Could have. Yeah, there is a question.
That had an
mark on
extremely high chance of saving him.
Mhm.
Not according to Toby Russell's assessment.
who is
I tend to
Toby
trust
Russell?
the doctor with
That's the
actual
doctor.
medical ethics.
The doctor here, the character here, the Hillary Clinton lady.
Okay.
Let's just call her Hillary. Come on. It'll make it easier for everyone.
Dr.
Hillary
Hillary.
Clinton. Doc
Um,
Hill.
so she's not Starfleet apparently because she's not in uniform.
Well, she answers the
So
Starfleet
she's
medical though.
civilian?
I think she's employed by Starfleet, but she's not enlisted.
She just doesn't
Yeah,
care
give
about
it-
the rules that much.
Okay.
It's
there's a-
symbolic of the fact that she ignores all ethics.
I'm still
No,
obsessed over that pad
interestingly,
of
the
hers.
room that they're in is a variable gravity room. Imagine what would happen if that malfunctioned right now.
Ooh,
I mean,
smackdown.
think of all the pads that they've shown in the props in the series that have the bulky surroundings and borders.
Oh,
but
yeah,
her
that's
pad
a-
was sleek and thin. It just kept driving me
Yeah.
up the wall because it's so nice and futuristic.
It's a new experimental medical pad.
Yeah.
It hasn't been tested before, but she uses it.
37% effective.
God.
Well, she got her own. Gates McFadden got her own uniforms made. Maybe she got her own props made too.
So there's several things here, medically speaking, or ethically speaking, to bring up here. One is, even 37%, or even if it was 12 or 7%, that's still something that Worf deserves to know about.
Yeah.
Is it
Another question
yeah.
of, is he even in the right state of mind at the moment to make that decision? Because he's still emotionally adjusting to his new situation. And then
Now,
there's
if
also
it's 30, just quickly though, if it's 37%, does that mean 37% of the time it works and the other times it doesn't?
He would
or
die.
or the other time
He would
someone
die.
dies? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, just to be clear. Sorry, go ahead.
And then
Have
the
you-
other question, the other thing is that doctors, at least in the present-day United States, are all required to take an oath upon the granting of their doctorate degree that they will do no harm. And there's also the situation where if somebody's unconscious or whatever, you want to perform CPR, you want to act in their best interests. And if they're not in a position to answer that, then you have to make the decision for them, so to speak.
I want to
If they
point out
are
the
in a position
curtains.
to answer that,
The curtains
Implied
behind
consent
her.
that you
Yeah.
assume that they would want to live.
Those curtains show a sign of light, like they're on the inside of the
I
ship.
assume it's
but
an
if you look at the
LED.
pilot episode, and you'll see that she's actually on the outer section, seeing the star field behind that curtain.
I assume that's not a window. I assume they put up like lights just to make it look natural.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not a window now, but originally in the pilot episode, it was a window to the outside of the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of
Take
things
a look
have
at
changed
that.
since the pilot episode.
I'm just
Originally,
saying
there
that
was
just it's just like, why does this thing have a curtain behind her? It's like, well, that was originally what they did, and to keep it consistent, I guess they always have kept that curtain, but now they've just made it artistic.
It makes people uncomfortable when they're sick to look out at the infinite void.
Exactly. It was like, why would you put sickbay on the edge of a ship ready to just get sucked out into space?
Also, Captain Picard made the same kind of point that I wanted to, where if you use the treatment, he has a 37% chance of living, 63% chance of dying. If you don't give him the treatment, he has a 100% chance of dying because he's going to kill himself.
That's right.
Those are better odds.
So I think by the end
he would do it.
I think by the end of the episode, Worf is kind of sliding on his principles, because if he was really truly dedicated to them, he wouldn't have had any problem asking Alexander for help, and he does have a problem asking Alexander for help.
Well, this is also
that's the point of the
TV
whole
show.
episode is Worf's journey. Worf's journey mentally through.
He has a knife.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Worf's cloak that he wore to the? Yeah, the one that he wore to the High Council chamber.
Yeah.
How's he going to put it on?
Very carefully.
That's the whole point.
God, that dagger is so impractical. That's going to get stuck in someone if you try and stab him.
I think that's
How are you
the
going to
point.
pull that out?
It is designed
You're supposed
to
to
get
be
stuck.
super strong to be able to pull it out.
But you need.
So-
What if there are two enemies? What are
The
you going to do
sparkle
then? You just
blanket.
lost your knife.
I want
Two
a
knives.
sparkle blanket like that.
Sparkle blanket. I hate how they do stuff like that to make it look spacey. Or like
It's very 60s.
Yeah.
It's very 60s.
like in Nemesis where Picard's looking through his photo album and like, no, it has to look spacey, so all the pages are like really sparkly in it for no reason.
Yeah, every
Okay.
photo has like a holographic rainbow edge.
Everything sparkles in
It's
space.
So yeah. Like he can't just have a regular blanket. He has to have a sparkly space blanket, right?
I mean, space blankets are a thing,
Worf's shirt looks
and they're
really
very
comfortable.
shiny.
I love Worf's
That might actually be a space blanket. Yeah.
So if Worf needs help, he doesn't have a comm badge on him. So how does he call for assistance?
Well,
He yells
for that,
real loud.
it's
He
the
yells.
It's the supercomputer next to him.
There is.
He's got to have a call button.
Because what if he can't speak? What if
A Klingon
he
does
needs a
not.
push button or something?
A Klingon does not put his desires above those of his friends and family. Except they do. A lot.
Except they do all the time.
Yeah, Riker's like, see, I can make up Klingon fun facts too.
A Klingon does not commit suicide.
A Klingon is going to wear more deodorant on the bridge.
Yes.
Also, I would defer to the medical professional on stream here, but isn't this a terrible thing to say to somebody considering suicide?
I don't think we have a medical professional on stream now.
I'm
Oh, I thought we
assuming
had-
it is, though.
Who was the one?
I'm drinking
That
Dr.
was
Pepper.
DB.
That's
That's
right,
DB. He
Ronan.
hasn't been here in a long
That's
time.
right. Worf doesn't welcome death, but says today is a good day to die every hour.
Yes.
Today
Well,
is
that-
not a good day to die.
Oh, there's a loophole. Well, it's not even
Yeah,
a
someone
loophole.
brought
Wolf
up
was
that
just
they-
lying.
that Riker
But there's a
invoked
different-
Tashi Yar's name, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, but there's a different context when when somebody says perhaps today is a good day to die. That's not. That's when you're putting your life into but that's when you're choosing to put your possible death into a greater purpose, which is not what
Yeah.
Worf is doing right now.
It's not a good day to die for no reason.
Well, he's worried
Yeah.
about his honor. It's all about that honor. Klingon honor and Stovall would suck to go to Grethor because you're a cripple.
The thing I'm surprised that they don't really bring up is, not just Klingon honor being one side of it, but what about your duty to Starfleet? It's like, even if you're disabled, you can be a working officer. Like you
Yeah, but
you
his
have
career would
dedicated
be
yourself
ruined.
to
As a
the job,
security
right?
officer, his career
Yeah,
would
but
shift
could
completely.
You could get a desk job. I mean, it's not ideal, but
Klingon
it's there.
desk job.
I want
I
to say
don't
that
know.
was very. I want to say that was very, very, very unwise for Mr. Riker to leave the knife right there.
He
Yeah.
also, I
He
think, left
did what
his
Worf was asking him to.
cloak on Worf's bed so his legs would fall asleep.
Well, he also didn't
I-
go through the ritual,
No, I
which
think that was
is
the
important.
point. Is that I think the point was he said, he's like, I'm your friend. I've done what you've asked of me, but and then his whole talk there. But he's like, I'm gonna leave this here, but I hope that this has changed.
But he kind of left it where Worf can't reach it because he can't
And they also
move too well.
They also
he's
didn't go through the
Riker,
actual
so he's kind of
ritual.
a dick. So there's that.
They didn't go through the actual ritual, which is important for Worf because if he's going to get into Stovacor, he's got to stab himself the right way.
He's got the knife.
Riker's a
Oh, he
dick,
got the
so
knife.
he half-assed
Yeah,
it.
of course he
But
would have got the knife.
Klingon hell just like a retirement home in like Arizona where you get pushed around and like drink in like a wheelchair all day and like drink orange juice and watch the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Imagine walking down that hallway as a regular officer, seeing this little kid with a knife walking down.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
You know
is a
what, I
Klingon.
imagine that
He will accept the
I
knife.
imagine that I've gotten to meet LeVar Burton, and and I told him that, yay, I actually became an engineer when I grew up too. And I imagine that Gates McFadden and DeForest Kelley have had many people come up to them saying that they were the inspiration, that they became medical doctors.
There's
And-
numerous documentary footage of them talking about that, and James Doohan got that a lot too, actually.
Yeah, and so here for Worf, for Michael Dorn, I imagine that he's had more people in real life come up to him and talk to him about the effect of this episode on their own life and their own life experiences related to it than anything else. And I sure hope that means a lot to people who get to star in TV like this.
Do you think it would have been more interesting for Worf to not be the security officer? Because like Klingons are a warrior culture, so he's kind of a shoo-in as the warrior on the ship. But if not, I feel like it might be a little bit more interesting if you put him in a role that wouldn't be like a typical Klingon role where
Well, he wasn't originally going to be the security officer. That was Tasha's job.
he started as
Yeah.
a security officer who pushed the boom button.
No,
He was in
just
a
junior
command
officer.
uniform. He had a red uniform. Didn't he run
He
the
was
helm?
command
once in
and
a
a
while?
pilot as well.
Yeah, he didn't really have a defined role on the bridge up until
No, he was just supposed to be the alien to provide weird perspectives to things, like such a handsome race.
Here's another really important thing here for Worf, of him choosing who to designate as, if he dies, who to designate as the guardian of his son to finish
Can he
raising
just do
him.
that, or do they have to accept?
Well, she accepted, but yeah.
She did, but if what?
I think in Klingon culture, probably wouldn't have to accept. It would be suggested that you do.
Captain Picard, you have a child now. Congratulations.
Of an episode.
The directional
But they force arbiter of succession on Picard, even though it's not anything to do with the Klingons.
Yeah. So yeah, they don't have masks here. I would just like to note that the Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially endorses mask wearing, especially for medical professionals.
Or at Halloween.
Well,
I think
they don't use
I think if you
masks
try-
because they have quarantine fields, which is something Dr. Crusher mentioned in the Time Traveler episode with Max Headroom.
I don't trust it.
He looks like a Denobulan from the back.
Kinda.
Like what?
That's so the Memory Alpha page says that's not even Michael Dorn. That is his stand-in.
It's made out of soap.
It doesn't even look like a real person necessarily. It looks like a sculpture.
Well, yeah.
Could have just had a mannequin and painted it.
Also, if your back really looked like that, it would be incredibly hard to bathe and get all the crevices.
Yeah, imagine
He
how
uses
Well,
hard
the
it
thing
was
is,
to press
Q,
your
as
back.
Q informs us, Klingons don't bathe.
That's what paint sticks are
well,
for.
they solved that, didn't they?
except in the blood of their enemies.
Well, this is why Worf has an earthy peaty aroma
With a touch of
with a
lilac.
touch of lilac.
Oh, there's
Is
the
this
spine.
replacement spine?
Just sitting in the open, just ready to go.
Is that in a
It's
quarantine
fine.
field?
I think they're gonna 3D print another one.
Yeah, that's Worf's existing spine, which happens to be identical to the holographic spine they were using before, because it's the same prop.
Yeah.
No.
Also, it was literally a scan
Very
of his
accurate
spine, so
hologram.
they should be the same.
And the blood's color's wrong.
What do you mean? Oh, it's not pink. Bright
It's
pink.
not pink.
They only did the pink blood to avoid an R rating. The rest of the time, Klingon blood has been red.
I mean, but it's been on screen now, so that's canon, I guess.
Yeah, like the pink blood scene in the zero gravity scene in Star Trek 6 is like incredibly violent. If you had made that blood, red.
That's not blood. That's
That's Pepto-Bismol.
cherry flavored icy juice that's in those tanks.
Oh,
It's
look, they're playing. That's
computer-generated
the 10
Pepto-Bismol.
forward game on the tables.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Take note
ordering
of that.
more-
They'll cut back to it. Take note of that weird painting behind Troy and Alexander. It's like the Enterprise and other ships flying out of like a brain with like
Oh, yeah.
other body organs.
Mike, I know you've looked at that painting in
We've
detail
looked at that
before.
very closely, in detail.
Oh,
on
okay.
stream,
Right on.
yes. It actually
And there-
has the Jeffries Enterprise.
Yeah, an Enterprise
Oh,
model that was
shoot.
never made. It was a concept.
It was the
don't
one
know
that
how-
was phase 2.
If
It was the
somebody-
hybrid
know
between
how-
the Ambassador class and the original series ship.
Can somebody put a link to that picture and painting in the Discord?
Yeah, we can do that later.
I don't know how appropriate it is to say this, but I feel like whatever they just inserted in a Worf looked like really tasty, like some kind of like noodle with like soy sauce on it.
Okay, yeah. I can see that. Oh, wow, that's extremely fast. Jesus.
And they all smiled really creepily. Like, good job, everyone. Good job. Yes, yes.
That took like 3 seconds to grow a whole spine.
I imagine
Alexander, how can
anybody
you even
who's
sleep
ever-
right now? How long has this operation been
that's
going on?
when
3
they
hours
started,
at
they
least.
said 3 hours,
Wild
26
functional
minutes.
monitor, 8495. That's a lot of monitors.
Ryan,
Enough fluctuations in the
if there's still
isocortex.
somebody in the watch along queue, I'll volunteer to step out for the second episode with the contingent that I'd be let in for the third.
Sure.
Okay.
No response in the isocortex. Wait, is the isocortex a thing? That doesn't sound like a real thing.
It's a Klingon organ
It's a Klingon organ.
from upstate New York.
Because they just add the word iso to a lot of things. How many
They do.
isodynes? How many
They do.
isotons?
They do.
It's
Well,
another
they
term
have
for
to
the
engineer
neocortex.
this stuff
It's
on
a
the
real thing.
fly. I mean,
It's another term for the neocortex. It's a real thing.
Okay.
Me,
I like how it says Klingon database as the readout there on the first monitor. As if it's not a Klingon, but of the Klingon database, this is what he should be like.
the
So
Klingon
this is a
database.
CPR.
It's like
or
it's
the
monitoring like
defibrillator.
CPU usage in the Klingon database.
When she put the cortical stimulator on his forehead, you could see the sponginess when she tried to push it in. Yeah, you can see the sponginess there.
I'm sure Michael is like, I don't want to be here for this part of the job. Just get some stupid dummy there. I'll see you guys later. I'll go to my cabin.
So yeah, Dr. Crusher is doing something that would have killed him if he was alive, but she's banking on the 2 deaths canceling out. The first doctor killed him once, so she's giving him a lethal dose of something, and that'll kill the first death. He'll be fine. It's like infecting someone with malaria to cure them of whatever that other thing is.
Well, it's it's a calculated. Well, I don't know what you might call it, but it's
Risk.
like calculated situational calculated risk, meaning you're going to lose if you don't. So
Yeah,
therefore,
it's like,
do it.
how much
because they're
worse
just
could
like,
he get? He's already dead.
So now Dr. Crusher's 0 for 2 on life-saving surgeries on the chief
Oh, there's
security
the
officer.
Enterprises.
Isn't much.
Did they even do
The one
surgery
in
on
the middle.
Tasha? I think. Or she just
The one
dead?
in the middle is the hybrid one.
Yeah, the weird with the really wide saucer and the bent nacelles is a hybrid ship. Right above
Yeah,
Alexander.
It's something that was like, it's sort of an Excelsior, but not an Excelsior, and it's probably even closer to the Discovery Enterprise nowadays if we reference that.
This is a really important choice for Alexander here, that he wants to see this in this moment, rather than later in Just a Casket.
Is he gonna hold Worf's eyes open and yell at the sky? I don't think he is.
Should
I feel
be
like
a very touching scene.
Oh,
if
right,
this wasn't
yeah,
with Andy.
clear on
come
enough
on, quit acting like a child and start yelling. What are you crying about, Alexander?
Riker should come in and do it.
Don't worry, Kalis will be here soon.
Can we talk about how
my gosh.
devastating this would have been for Alexander? He's like literally had only a stable parent for like 9 months.
I wouldn't qualify that as stable.
No, he's not stable. Worf is not a stable parent.
No, I was referring to Kalar.
Oh, Kalar. Okay, yeah.
Okay, all right. Phew. Don't mean to
One of
bring
those
more
unnecessary
trouble to your life,
redundancies.
Alexander,
So
but your father is all of a sudden just coming back to life. So could you please leave again?
And on the third hour, Worf rose.
Yeah.
So how long was he clinically dead, I wonder?
Probably long enough that he has some brain damage from oxygen deprivation.
Damn Klingons.
Wake up Worf and
I'm the
he's
least
been dead
comforting
for.
person.
Thanks, K-Shizzle on the Discord for
Oh,
posting
we got
the
Kevin.
Worf
We had a cycle on the queue.
cone. Yes. Hi,
I think
Kevin.
Felon dropped out.
Look what she's looking at. The camera showed what she was looking at. It's just like some picture of just body parts and stuff. Not even an electronic pad or anything.
Okay. Do these pads use e-ink or are they LEDs? How do they work?
Well, the pad, it's not even a pad that she's holding. It's some painting of something.
Not all of your patients, including the one that you
not because
literally
he's
murdered
human.
in the cargo bay.
He's not human. Yeah.
It's quite a pointless question if it's an LCD or a e-ink because they are doing colored e-inks now, even right now.
Very fancy.
Worf,
Yeah,
you were
I've been looking at
clinically
them.
dead for 3 hours, and Worf's like, badass.
The color
Now,
stuff.
Worf,
real life,
did you see Kalis? Did you go to Stovacor for a few hours? How's this going to affect your faith?
that's a really good question, actually. Did
Sorry,
he
I
have a
was
near-death
never seen.
experience?
I was saying
There's a
one
Star Trek Voyager episode with this exact
Felt like-
premise, only
felt like
except Worf
seconds in
is
this one.
Neelix.
Yeah, I
Was
remember
he
that
really
one very
dead,
well.
though? Because
No,
like
Kevin, what were you saying?
I was saying this, but I realized I was muted. But I was saying about how long he was dead. It seemed like remember, it seemed like he was dead for seconds.
Yeah, it was probably just a few minutes.
His
So they
feet.
Wouldn't have,
they dressed
Yeah,
up
at
his
least a
feet,
few
too.
minutes.
he wouldn't have had a near-death experience if he was unconscious for that.
I'm pretty sure that we can't consider him having been fully dead. Like Dr. Crusher's instruments read him that way, but like, how do you completely die and then your body spontaneously starts you back up?
Future
I think
space
there's
magic.
something there. Well, I guess, but
Well,
like,
but that happens in real life too. So
Well, the
that's
Klingon
Okay,
database was probably wrong in the Federation archives for that
I've
information.
never heard of somebody spontaneously coming back from being clinically dead, just without any intervention at all.
Because he's still the only Klingon in Starfleet.
And the Klingons don't exactly do a lot of medical research on their own. Starfleet probably knows more about Klingon medicine than the Klingons do.
I mean,
So in real life, Dr. Crusher would have reported Dr. Hillary, and she would have been stripped of her.
Oh yeah, she should lose her license, 100%. You can't do literally anything that she did.
In real life.
Worf might be the only Klingon in Starfleet right now, but I think if the timelines line up correctly, this is either concurrent with B'Elanna being in the academy or just before it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Well, it is half Klingon versus full Klingon.
So the next episode is The Outcast, 1 minute countdown. Season 5, episode 17, where Riker gets another. I mean, I was gonna say girlfriend, but well, no, she identified. So yeah, girlfriend.
I cringe watching this episode.
Riker gets another girlfriend.
Worf wasn't.
I think
Worf
it's
was
time for
only-
me to leave. So
Okay.
have a nice day, probably, or night. Don't know. And by tomorrow.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Take care.
Goodbye.
So it turns out Worf
And
was
we got
not
Felon back
fully
now.
dead. So it turns out Worf was only mostly dead.
And mostly
There's a
dead,
very big
slightly
difference
alive.
between mostly dead and all dead. Nobody even rifled through his pockets for loose change because they don't use money in the future.
Exactly.
You mean poker chip?
10
Okay,
seconds.
I guess
Everybody
I'm
be
back.
ready to
I
press
am
play.
ready.
Press play
Everybody, I guess I'm
in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Did you click play at the right time this time, Ryan?
Well, I clicked play at play
it's
at
fine.
the
It's
correct
the
time
time.
last time. The issue was that the timestamp hadn't been reset, which it now is. The timestamp
always
is now
assume-
correct.
Chips.
By definition, the right time anyway.
They're
We all
very
think-
Vulcan in their clothing, which is ironic. It's like, you
And
know,
the
forget
haircut.
an engineering it. Just give him Vulcans. Get
Yeah.
the ears off.
It's not exactly a bowl cut because we have to show off the fancy alien forehead, but
That's
it's very
right.
Vulcan-y, yeah.
That
It's
drives me
just
up the wall.
It's just an unimaginative way to represent androgyny. Just like have clothes that are the least expressive possible because we don't want to hint at one way or the other.
Yeah, this is a tough episode because it's like I do like some of the efforts they make and stuff, but other stuff just seems so tone deaf, and it's really tough.
Yeah. There's some good stuff in here, but the bad outweighs the good, especially the ending.
It would have been really good if they went with Jonathan Frakes is what he wanted. He wanted to make the woman played by a man, which would have been interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's all about gender identity.
yeah, it's like just do it, you cowards.
Do it.
So the gender identity thing wouldn't have even come into play when they were writing this episode because that was not a conversation that was being had. This was supposed to
true.
be an allegory about being gay.
Homosexuality. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Which
makes
is
Well,
why I
sense.
think
fortunately,
Leia
the
is
author
kinda
is
weird.
dead.
No,
Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if that's literally true, but the
Jeez.
author is dead. Can read
The
what we
author?
want into it.
Who was the
Which
author? I
author?
don't know.
I
Jerry
don't know. I just
Taylor.
mean it metaphorically.
Jerry Taylor's still alive.
Oh, Death of
Okay.
the Author. Sorry.
Death of the author.
I was
I
not
still
paying
don't know
This
what
was
that
in the
means.
90s, so yeah, I don't know which of the authors are actually dead, but the author is dead.
In the broader sort of, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, this episode was given kind of a little bit of a breath of life when the gender identity conversation started to happen because it's like, oh, even though they screwed up on this one point, they kind of hit a lot of good points for the other side, but it also still has a terrible ending.
I don't. Oh, right. No, I remember the ending. Oh,
Yeah.
Is anyone here like I don't know, non-binary or non-cis or trans or anyone have like any sort of personal commentary on this? Because I'd be very curious to see what those opinions were on this episode.
I myself am
Like
a
it's
straight
not-
white man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I feel like my perspective on this is going to be extremely limited by
Yeah.
who I am.
And I am gay, but I am also cisgendered, so I cannot say that I am a representative of
person.
anything gender related.
In that
We had
conference
one person who was claiming to be trans, but they also were a pathological liar. So I don't know. I don't think that would help.
Oh.
They're not on
I
the
mean,
scene
maybe if
anymore
we
for
watched an episode about a
many reasons.
pathological liar,
How would you know if they
they
were
could comment on
liar?
They were lying about a lot of other things that were verifiable.
Oh.
Well, maybe they'd have comments on lying. We could have them talk about
Maybe.
how it was a fraud.
We could bring them back in
Yes.
for Garrick's episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, lying is a skill like any other, and if you
want.
want to maintain a level of excellence, you have to practice constantly.
Yeah.
Look at the art
Looks like they-
sculptures in the back behind them. It's
And the jigsaw puzzle on the table.
just smashed
Yeah.
together. It's like, you know what? Just put it together. Just shove it
I
in
don't-
from the prop department that failed last week.
I don't know why, but I think those things on the table look like cookies.
Okay.
Cookies.
I should go to the
Mm.
grocery store today and get some cookies. I haven't had cookies in a while.
I haven't either.
Now, what's the best kind of cookie? Because I'm all about white chocolate macadamia nut.
Kitchen
Those are the
sink.
best kind of cookie.
Oh, white chocolate macadamia
Oh,
nut is
that's-
criminally underrated.
That
I
is
hear
the best
green
cookie.
apple
I-
cookies are the best.
I
Oh,
think
by the way-
white chocolate macadamia nut can be rivaled by caramel chocolate chip.
I like
Big
oatmeal
caramel
guy.
raisin because
I haven't
it's
had
the
caramel
healthiest
chocolate
one
chip.
I know of.
Just a comment about the episode real quick. The actress who is playing the lead Janai here comes back later on in Deep Space Nine to play Senator Kretak initially,
Oh, yeah.
the Romulan
Where-
senator who works on Deep Space Nine.
Where do you
I
get
really
this
like that line.
information
To
from?
talk about the
Pretty
episode just for a
impressive.
second, and then we can get back on topic.
Right, cookies.
Ryan, how
Interrupt
come you've
our train
never
of
brought
thought.
any cookies to these?
Well, I mean, I don't want to eat on stream for one thing. You should never eat in front
I
of a
can't
microphone,
believe
and
you
right now my
advised
push to
all
mute
over
isn't
and you
working.
Don't have snacks.
We never eat on stream. What if the viewers buy you food and then you have to eat all the food?
Well, I think that's really weird that your viewers do that. That weirds me out.
That would
I'm
be
not going to
weird.
turn
Oh,
it down.
shit. Can I send Ryan a pizza? How do I do that?
I'm not giving you my
See what I mean?
address. If you want to send me like a
Sure.
gift card, I guess I can take that. But no, don't do that either.
As long
Don't
as you're
send
in
me
the States,
things.
there's a program that can hide your
can send it-
address.
You can send the Discord to DM him
That's a properly
link
sized
to a
shuttle.
gift certificate for
That's
pizza.
a big, yeah, that's a big one.
As opposed to what we saw a week or so ago, where you had one.
It only hold like one person.
It says Shuttlecraft
just-
15.
Yes, the Magellan,
Most
I believe it
inefficient
said.
door on the back possible, and it drives me up the wall for how long it takes to open and close the door. It's just, it's
So
Well,
if
you gotta-
in
it
90s,
get jammed and
Return
stuck.
X.
Imagine if it got stuck like halfway.
It has
up.
to go that
It's
slow
just-
because of OSHA, because it's going down. So if someone's standing right next to it, it'll bonk them on the head.
I just hate it.
Isn't there a door on the side?
In
Sometimes.
this shuttlecraft? No, I don't think
Not
so.
this shuttlecraft.
It's only in the back. It's
So
a
now
Type
he-
9.
The original
now-
shuttlecraft design opened up in the center of the front with like a clamshell design. or
At
track
least
design.
Enterprise was smarter about their set design and have it flip up.
I like the Lambda shuttle design where the ramp opens from the front like a mouth.
Michael, do you want me to set up for a treat stream?
No, I'm
No.
just putting that there just to be funny. But you could totally set that up if you wanted people to send you food.
I'm okay. The idea of it weirds me out. I don't like it.
No,
So she
please,
At least you don't have to
Commander
deal with
Riker,
someone
try
sending
and
you
use
15
correct
Happy Meals.
Preferred pronouns.
Yeah, she says there that they have a pronoun in their language that they use, but it doesn't translate. Well, then just use the pronoun anyway. I mean, we use fiance in English, and that's not an English word, it's French.
Also, regarding fiance, can we get rid of the gendered spelling? It's needlessly confusing. There's the
Yeah,
one E for
yeah.
one and two E's for the other, and I never know which is which.
It's
Look
yeah,
at look
yeah.
at both of these people eating out of just one space bowl at a time, like a sensible person.
Why is
so
that spoon
Riker's,
handle
like,
so big? What are
exposing
they
her
doing
to-
with it?
Riker's exposing this person to food, and it's like you're going with split pea soup. It's like get some pizza or something. Like be a little interesting here.
It's probably what they had for whatever other show they were filming on set nearby.
They picked the food that would match her outfit.
It's more of
Oh, yeah,
these
that's-
industrial
look, like-
lubricants.
In the step back, yes, this is 100% just extra food from craft services. But but like for the purposes of the episode, you would think he could have done something a little more interesting. Or like he's from Alaska, right? Like get some salmon, man.
Ooh.
Or
Also, Andy, who are you
lost a
wondering is
bet.
Captain Garrett? I don't think Soren is Captain Garrett. Who are you referring to with that?
No.
Captain Garrett.
The actress
Maybe
who plays.
maybe
she's
it's
not in
just
the
like
show.
prop food that's maybe just like colored water or some kind of like random junk that's not actually food, but it's just like barely edible. And yeah, it's just something they can eat in between takes and not get full.
Are we sure this
And,
episode
like-
is about homosexuality? Because it really seems all about gender identity.
I don't know.
It's what they were going for at the time. They wanted to find some way to make a sci-fi cover for it. You know, like they always
I
do
think that
whenever
makes
they're trying to
sense.
do issues.
Maybe it's. Oh, I was talking about the soup. You can finish your thought.
No, I had finished it. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say also maybe it helps because it's like a liquid food, and so in between takes they can just refill it and not prepare a new one that would otherwise clearly have like a bite.
Yeah,
taken out of it.
continuity. Continuity is why they use liquids a lot.
That's good.
Is that couple that's framed very well in the center in the background? Is that supposed to be in contrast to Riker and Soren?
It's supposed to.
I think so. Yeah, I actually love like sort of the way that their interactions simmer at first. You know,
Their body language is also very Vulcan, in addition to their
Oh, hey.
hairstyle, clothing.
I'm thinking back now to all the times I've seen them eat soup on screen. The Polmec soup
I
and
love Riker's
in
pause.
unification.
I mean, how much time do you have, Soren? That's a big question, especially for Riker.
Wait, what's this character's name?
Soren.
Soren.
Oh,
That's Commander Riker. He's the first officer of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Okay, I never got her name, and so I always thought you guys were saying Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Wasn't Soren also the name of the bad guy from Generations?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
Dr. Soren,
It would make the
SOS.
Malcolm
yeah,
McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Yeah.
Eliminate
It's also
them.
just a human name.
Time is a predator that stalks us all our lives.
Good evening.
She looks like a nun for
Good
some
evening.
reason there.
They know what evening is because time zones.
I mean, I assume they have
Yeah.
sunsets on their planet. Probably.
Do you think?
We
Do you
assume
think
that
the
they all have
Enterprise-
sunsets, but there's got to be some planets that don't rotate.
If it's tidally locked, then it doesn't have sunsets, but those planets also suck. Oh, Remus is tidally locked, isn't it? Yeah, Remus.
Romulus and
Yeah,
Remus
it is.
can't exist in real life, I don't
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So here's
Well, don't worry about it.
here's where she asks the biology questions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Commander,
can't-
tell me
so
about...
if you're talking- yeah, if you're talking
What-
with your, I don't
what
know, your
was that?
10-year-old.
Wait, did the phaser come out of the engine?
It came out of the nacelle.
What the hell?
Yeah, the phaser arrays on shuttles are on the front of the nacelles.
Yeah, because that's safe.
That
Oh,
seems
geez,
horribly
what
ridiculous.
what's going to happen?
Okay,
You
Bill,
don't
that was
need
very
good
confusing, but
weather
Bill,
on
if you would like to
shuttles
continue
because-
your point now that we've addressed it.
Oh yeah.
Dating tip number 30, whatever. Don't outright ask your prospective dating partner about their sexual organs.
Don't do that's not
No, I
even a
don't know.
dating tip. That's just like a life tip. Don't ask anybody about their sexual organs.
I mean, in all fairness, it kind of works. Like they do get into a nice conversation, but yeah, I don't know.
This reminds me of when Picard's talking with like that face alien. He's like, "It's how we propagate our species," and the alien's like, "Please demonstrate this."
Oh, right. Nagilum.
Nagilum's great. He's one of my personal role models where he's just like this face that gets to like interrogate people and like make people die with a really dramatic face on.
Riker, do we need to go into detail for this?
Because
It
it's
is
Riker.
always funny when Riker's uncomfortable. I don't know.
I'm sure he'll give her an empirical demonstration.
I'd rather him not. This is a family-friendly show.
Is that what he calls it? The empirical demonstration.
It's like what Sylvester Stallone movie was that where he got frozen to the future and then sex was illegal?
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Demolition Man, yeah.
I like how they scoot the two of them closer together with the sideways shot because they need to fit them in the same picture.
Even
But then they
Geordi
sit
and
further
LaForge don't sit this close together in the shuttle.
I know. It's
Yep. Welcome to television. Welcome to television directing 101.
just pointing it out here, you know.
Like, just move
Such
closer
a
together.
roomy
Yeah, but in the
shuttlecraft.
wide,
Get 'em
they're
close,
clearly
get 'em
not
for the
this close
shot.
together. It's fine. It's only going to air once. It's not like people are going to be watching it 35 years from now.
I have so
On
the many
the 4K
questions
UHD
about
TV.
how a human and a Janai would work, but I don't want to ask any of them.
You don't want the answers, is what you're trying to
This
say.
is
That's
such a
Janai.
weird.
Not
scene.
even that I don't
have
want the answers.
alien
I don't
that-
want to ask them on YouTube. I'm very concerned about that.
Okay,
I agree.
I have
agree.
every confidence Riker would figure it out.
This is such a weird episode with like all these conversations between like the alien that has no idea like what's appropriate to talk about
Yeah.
in terms of like sex and sexual relations, and then he talks with the Janai.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, it's a good
naturally
episode. I
restraining
think-
myself from,
got
from
cross-section.
comments.
No, I'd like to clarify that Riker was the first one I was talking about there, who has no clue what the deal with sex is.
Yeah. So
Imagine
Bill,
if a
Bill, what
weapon
was
port
that?
was on that weapon engine. Jeez.
I was
Well,
just gonna-
don't bite your tongue. Like, if you have criticisms, come forward with them. Because I think this
Shut
is a
up,
good
Fallon. It's
episode,
Bill's turn.
Except the ending. Okay,
I was
I'm done.
just
Bye.
echoing. I was just echoing Ryan that yeah, I'm actually stopping myself from saying things I don't want to say on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'd
I
also
was saying,
like to
go ahead
say
and
that
say
that
them.
scene,
But
real quick, like that shot where the cell got sliced through was a really good effect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was
How
lovely.
They did that.
They did it very well.
I'm just happy a weapon didn't go off on the engine.
So like, there's something
They
here.
shouldn't
That,
have gone off. It was draining power, not giving it power.
there's a moment in that scene where Dr. Crusher is scanning her, where you can see the terror in her eyes. I think that's meant to imply that she's afraid that Dr. Crusher's scans might detect that she's not the same as other
Maybe.
Janai.
Here's so if there is somebody who would be good to talk to about this, I guess it would be a doctor, a medical doctor,
Right,
because
yeah.
that's the business.
Oh, this is one of the rare instances of seeing the true medical tricorder.
oh yeah.
I don't apply any color to myself. I don't even apply color to myself with the sun. I'm very colorless.
Transparent, even.
My beard is not an affectation. I could loosen in a second. I've just gotten used to it.
I mean, the thing about the beard is it's so inconvenient to shave every day. Just have a beard. It's so much easier.
I
Not
don't want to
always.
look like Ted Cruz.
That is true, very true.
Speaking of color,
I mean, you have to wash it, but that's a lot easier than shaving.
And if you're a sloth, you wouldn't have to worry about shaving.
No?
No?
And if humans were just furry, it would be so much easier. Not
Yeah, right,
furries,
yeah.
just furry.
Just it.
And ask you more uncomfortable questions.
She
I wish
makes
she
that
would've
joke
said,
so
"Oh."
flatly.
Ripped one of the protrusions from the null pocket, of course.
what's a null pocket? Whoa.
Doctor, is she ready?
It's like asking your mom if you can go on a date. Like, Jesus.
Ask your doctor if you're healthy enough for port nacelle check-in.
Whatever we're doing here, yeah.
Ah, there is the colored glasses on the wall.
Here's
That
some more
smile,
chairs.
she knew. She knew.
We get
Look at how
poker
few
or
chips
discussion
Worf
of
has.
poker in all 3 episodes.
Look at
Worf
the frame
and
of the
Troy
table
are
underneath.
just doing terribly.
So thin.
The Federation was founded in 2161.
We get the weirdest We get the such important information
What?
about the Federation in like the weirdest episodes. Like we hear that the Federation was founded in 2261 in this episode, and we hear
Why-
that
Yeah.
we hear the national anthem of the Federation in the DS9 baseball episode.
Talking myself.
Why is
There-
Worf just
that-
suddenly sexist for an episode?
He's so sexist here. Jesus.
He's
Well,
never
there's
done
a-
anything like this before.
There's the one where he
Yeah.
objected to wearing a dress.
Because today is a good day to judge.
Yeah.
But
like,
there's an
he's
episode in
so-
which you made Chandra the female for him, and it's like I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, he's very anti, like, it's not binary or like exactly what he is.
That painting behind Worf, by the way, is by Vermeer. It's a woman pouring milk, I think.
Where are we? Is this
Okay.
Data's quarters?
Yeah, I think
Klingons
so.
are
Oh yeah,
nice,
look at the
sexy,
background. He has his
other
deer stalker cap. That
sexuality.
must be Data's quarters.
Data's quarters. Yeah,
Sculpture
that's
from his
awesome. Wow.
ex-girlfriend there.
Yeah, it is. Now we know.
Side note,
Now we always.
if there's
Go
no
ahead.
money, what do the chips represent? I always assumed it was duty hours that they're trading.
Oh,
I just assume they're
I
playing a
assume
friendly
they
game
just
and
all
not
start
actually
with the same
betting.
amount.
It's friendly.
for-
There's nothing
Yeah,
to be
they-
won or lost.
yeah, they all start with like 20,000, and then they just work from there probably all
Well,
night.
When
But if
I
there's
went
no
on,
stakes and there's no
It's just a game, man. You don't.
s-
I don't bet on
they
my
might-
Star Trek
they might
games.
make wagers.
On my StarCraft games.
They might make wagers between themselves. Like Troy bet Data a cocktail that one time.
Yeah, his.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, you never play as the Wadi and make bets and lose.
oh,
That
I
wasn't
think that's right.
StarCraft.
Yeah,
That
maybe
was
duty
Stellaris.
hours.
Oh, yeah, so-
Do you want to make a bet about our current Stellaris game?
No, because you're gonna win.
I don't know about that.
No, I
You know, I
guarantee
told
it.
Ryan last night. I was on the stream watching.
Oh,
I
cool.
couldn't really chat on it because I had to make an account. I tried, it wouldn't let me for some reason.
Okay.
I was watching.
That's all right.
That painting behind
That
Worf
was-
may not have been what I thought.
Miss Sarah was
Oh, yeah.
kind of there, yeah.
Yeah, on
Cool.
Voyager they use replicator rations to bet. That's true.
Well, we're gonna be doing it next week again. I don't know
Right,
how many weeks we'll be
replicator
doing.
rations. How is it a ration if you've got a replicate? If it's replicated,
It's
What
rationing
is
the energy
replicator
used.
Credits.
As if you can't just take any asteroid and convert it into energy and fuel your ship like that. Because you've got replicators, it's just working in reverse.
Yeah, you
Think
can
about
If
the
you're using the
horrible
warp drive,
placement
perhaps
of
you
that
can power
panel.
the rest of the ship.
The horrible placement of the panel that she's working on. One nice knee jolt, and it's broken.
I'm gonna be
The
way
more I
off.
watch this episode, I'm
Well,
not seeing
she-
any comment about homosexuality. Is this why it was a terrible episode? Because it doesn't even address it when it was trying to?
Right. Rick Berman neutered it, not to use a term.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very appropriate term.
No
Thank
pun
you.
intended. No pun intended. Yeah. I think
I'm gonna
like
be way off. Go ahead.
if you're gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, you go ahead. Oh wait.
Oh, I was gonna say, if she seems a little reckless in her duties, it might be because she's, kind of smitten a little bit. Maybe her head's a little clouded. As both men and women and everyone tends to get when you're falling in love.
I'm
I
gonna
know
be
we
like,
dump on Rick Berman a lot, but in the context of he's trying to make a program for global syndication, he probably didn't want to push any issues too far.
That's a common excuse. It's also not a good one because like there are many syndicated shows that had gay characters that would show up on a regular basis. I think it was All in the Family.
well,
They had a gay
great.
neighbor. Mary Tyler Moore, there was a gay character.
Yeah, I
We're
don't think
talking
it's an
about-
excuse, more of like an explanation of where his head was at.
I mean, yeah, that is his excuse, I should say. He was trying to make that
But
excuse.
Rick Berman also has a pattern of behavior that you can just
Yeah.
track through all the shows he's on.
There's also, I mean, it doesn't like dude wouldn't have had to been an absolute ban on gay characters for for international markets to like the show, right?
Yeah,
Didn't have
there's
to go
somewhat
as
of
far
a
as he did.
business decision in it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I cut Kevin off earlier. I don't know if he wanted to jump in with what he was going to say. Go ahead, Kevin.
There was And there was an episode banned in England because of a throwaway line about the Irish
Oh, yeah.
reunification of 2124. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
but that was
2124,
one episode banned,
2024.
like,
That's going to happen in
there-
3
there.
years.
So,
oh, 2024. That's right.
They also banned the head exploding episode because it was too violent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not the
And then,
head
like,
exploding
a couple of
episode.
episodes.
That
So
was such
it's
a
not like
well-written episode.
It
I can
really
see it
wasn't.
being too violent, though. I'm not going to dispute that.
Yeah, I mean that's
Dude
that's not one
exploded.
that's- Yeah, his head literally exploded on screen, and then in order to create that effect, they blew up basically pork chops and beef tied together.
Just unnecessarily.
So how well
disgusting.
cooked were they after that explosion?
That
they were
actor actually
after
died
it. I don't know.
for conspiracy. That wasn't in effects.
And I'm sure somewhere in this conversation she has to say, my leg is numb. Can I get up now?
Has
I'm gonna
Soren
be
confessed
waiting.
that she identifies as a woman?
Yes, she just did.
Okay.
I'm gonna be way off. I'm gonna be.
It's just a horrible placement for that panel. I just, ugh.
Well, it's like when you try to get into a panel that's in the footwell of your car. You have to put the back of your head on the foot pad, and then look upward. And then what do you do with the rest of your body? It's hanging out the door frame.
Yeah,
that door is massive.
Of course it is. It's stupid.
Jordy has a beard. Jordy has a beard.
Ah, it does.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay.
There's an outtake where Jordy and Data are talking in engineering, and you're just like, Jordy, did you not have a beard? He goes, oh yeah, that. It was an experiment. The producers didn't like it. Oh, well.
You know the reason why Riker grew a beard, right?
It looks
Like the
enough.
actual story. He it was during the writer's strike.
another
There was a
job.
writer's strike, and he grew a beard, and then he showed up on set with a beard, and they're like, "Yeah, leave it."
I wonder if the
Yeah.
beard during this time would have
producers
shown
were
up with his
thinking like,
reading
oh, the show
rainbow.
got better when Riker grew a beard, so let's have every character grow a beard. And there's like this
Worf
alternate
has a beard.
timeline.
Data has a beard briefly.
Yeah, Worf has a beard, Data has a beard, Dr. Crusher has a beard. The show's won like
Yeah.
a million Emmys.
Troy.
And it's on the
Captain
Picard
Picard has a
today.
beard as well at some point. In
Yeah,
the
The
in
show
the,
is 100% dwarf approved.
Captain Picard has a beard in
Just
that
have a-
episode where it's the fake future of Riker.
Oh yeah.
Well, he also has
Is it a
one
beard
in-
or a goatee?
Both.
Go
Everyone stop for a second.
That's
Let
the
Kevin
whole
speak,
Okay.
please.
No, I'll go finish.
Bright
this one.
white outside.
This is the Q continuum.
Why is it so bright outside?
Because it's easier to film.
Yeah,
Are they
that's
in some
probably a
sort of
really cheap effect.
inverse space? What's going on here?
Are they in the null pocket?
Oh,
Yeah, they are.
There are people trapped in the null pocket, and they're
The
rescuing
angular
them.
confinement.
Of course, the angular confinement.
Come on, explain this to me, Ryan. Go for it.
The angular confinement. I mean, it has to do with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, because when things are sort of moving back and forth and you don't know the exact
Okay,
position, there's a
Maybe you
certain
wanna
angle
pilot
that
the
they
ship
take
out
up.
there as opposed to
There's an angular drift, and
Oh,
so the
they're just gonna
Heisenberg
transport that.
compensator deals with the angular confinement by reducing
So-
the positional variation.
Thank
Before you go
I just-
any further, it's not angular
better.
confinement, it's annular confinement, which means
I was
we-
wondering
Well, now
about
it's
that.
angular.
Oh, now it's
Yeah.
okay.
See,
And
it
the
was originally angular,
confinement
but then people
being
just kept
like-
mispronouncing it, so now they roll with it.
The annular confinement beam just has to do with like what year it is.
Yeah.
At least the shuttlecraft has armrests. Thank God.
the.
I like how the
movable,
shuttlecraft also does not appear to have any kind of bathroom.
Nope. It has couches, though.
Also, does the shuttlecraft have like a mat on the ramp, or is that a door on the door?
Wait,
it's,
why are
it's a
the
tread plate kind of thing.
why are the transporter controls on the couch?
It's just an
I
escape
wanted to tell
transporter.
No, the controls are
directly to
modular. You can
segue
move
here.
controls to another one.
See,
Why
you
do we
bring
need
up
the
a
transporter rooms if they can just do this?
You brought up a thought though when you mentioned that it had no bathrooms. I always thought a novel use of the transporter would be to just transport the waste out of your body.
Yeah.
You never have to get up and go to the bathroom.
I think I once thought
computer
about
locked onto my colon and beam it directly into space. And
Occasionally, the captain's giving a briefing in the observation lounge, and suddenly everyone just hears a little chime effect, and everybody chooses to ignore it.
Do any of you guys remember the Breaking? I think it was Breaking
confirmed
Bad.
on Twitter that before the Enterprise had plumbing, the crew just pooped on the floor and used the transporter to get rid of it.
There's a Breaking Bad episode where one of the characters
Number two
describes
came
this
up.
hypothetical episode where there's a pie eating contest and Chekhov is cheating by having
Oh,
Scotty
yeah.
transport pie out of his stomach as he eats it, but he screws up and actually transports his
It's the same
like
sculpture
insides
there.
outside of the ship.
Oh,
So
God.
yeah, a little risky.
They really like using that sculpture. That's just completely disgusting.
I mean, they had to pay for
Also-
the prop, so we might as well use it.
Also, real
What-
quick, back to the toilet thing. There's this amazing scene in the like making of TNG's finale where Jonathan Frakes is like out of character but in costume walking around on the sets. And he's like, one of the many questions I've gotten from fans, and he's in engineering in front of the technical diagram, is like, where is the bathroom on the Enterprise?
Oh yeah.
And well, there's only
yeah.
one, and it's located right here.
On the very bottom point of the saucer section.
I was going
Well,
to say
we do
that.
know that
I
there's
was gonna
bathrooms
say
because in
it's also-
Voyager they confirm it with Neelix asking about crew morale and needing a better bathroom.
What did you want to say,
Yeah, I was
Kevin?
going to say the saucer section.
There's also the stage 9 walkthrough map where there's it's labeled ahead on adjacent to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there
that's the
was
only
the
bathroom.
version they didn't release. There was a preview video where they went inside of it, and on the side of the shelf next to the toilet, there was 3 shells.
I believe if you go into the area in Picard's ready room in Stage 9 where the bathroom's supposed to be, it's just completely empty.
It's not stage
Yeah.
9 for the one that's got that, but I think stage 9 took it from the Enterprise 3D project.
Parker, why are you
We
kissing
can go
the
on that
alien?
later.
Oh,
As
is
far
that
as
what?
not
Is that where I
free-
saw that?
Yeah, it's one of the videos
Yeah.
I host.
So just as a reminder,
far as-
Jonathan Frakes wanted this alien to be played by a man, and he was turned down.
It would have been better.
Would have been.
As far as real, not real, as far as bathrooms that we actually explicitly see, there's the one where I think it's in Star Trek First Contact, the movie, where he walks in and washes his face. I think that's the most we ever see of any bathroom.
Yeah, we see sinks.
Yeah, Troy
Yeah, it's
washes her
almost
face at some point, I'm pretty sure, when she's doing her telepathic stuff.
There are no bathrooms, yeah.
The most bathroom we see is
I
on
bet.
Voyager sets. I mean, we get to see what sonic showers sort of look like. In fact, when sonic showers fail, even.
The
Yeah, we
sonic
don't see
showers,
that.
I believe, are just you just like press a button and it just makes a high pitched noise, right?
No,
So-
it does a little more than that.
It could be.
Isn't there an
it could
episode
be
of
voice
Enterprise where he's in the
it could be
where
voice
Archer's in the
activated, too.
shower?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's a sonic shower. That's a
It's like-
normal shower.
Yeah, then he
Yeah.
loses gravity or something.
Yeah, the
subsonic
gravity gets
shower.
funky.
Do,
subsonic shower.
Well, there was the other shower too, where like the crew was losing their minds, and so T'Pol just cranked on the cold water and blasted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny at the end of the game, instead of like Data walking in with the strobe light, he just like blasts everyone with a garden hose. They snap out of it.
A really big spray bottle like they're cats.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
lot
the same way-
cheaper just to blink a light and say everyone's fixed.
Hey, that's the same. That's the same lighting days for the episode, though. When what am I- that's the exact same lighting that they used when Riker and Troy were in her quarters, and that was the last episode of Enterprise, the original Enterprise.
Oh, you're
Not the-
asking?
not the
Yeah, the
one
last
for-
episode of Enterprise. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Not the one.
Oh
not-
yeah, that's
Not the one with Kirk, the one with
Yeah.
Archer.
The last episode
Yeah,
of
where
Enterprise where
it's,
Riker is visibly much older.
Yeah,
And
it's a holodeck,
was-
and it's like a holodeck thing, right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a
It
holodeck
was
thing.
supposed to
And
take place during the episode of where the Pegasus was found.
Yeah.
that's right. The hairpiece for Deanna was incorrect for that episode because they couldn't find the wig for her, and it turns out that the actor took that wig home and forgot that she had the wig, and so they had to just improvise instead.
Okay.
I like
What do you
the
mean
puzzle
wig? Isn't
sheet
that just her
going.
natural hair? Look at all that volume.
God damn it, Marina Sirtis.
I can do it right.
She took it as a home to home as a
May-
prop, and then yeah.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
There's that lovely statue again in this courtroom, whatever it is.
What
Those
do you
two
have
door
against the
guards.
statue?
It's just horrible design.
Those two door guards didn't
Good
do
Lord,
a very
look
good
at
job
that.
at all of keeping him from not getting into the room and not interfering here.
They're
They're just
sleeping.
standing there.
Look at his face though, like the person in the background, like it like clearly checked out. Like, I don't even care. Fine.
5 minutes, starting now.
I'm doing my night, so I got extra right now.
Sorry,
Yep.
I don't know that one.
So yeah, Soren was just given an out where she could just say, "It's like, no, I didn't do anything. I'm totally not a woman. I'm normal. I'm like you." And nope, she's doing it.
Because the show has to end and wrap up everything.
Well, I mean, that wasn't a criticism. That's just Soren's actually being,
Well,
Yeah.
she's being her.
As someone who's
True to herself.
coming out
Yeah.
experience kind of parallels this, you do get to a point where you're just like, I am so sick of lying and hiding that I need to just say the truth.
Mm.
That is a very real and common experience.
Were you an adult when you came out, or were you like a kid?
Yes,
Younger,
I was
like teenage,
29.
so-
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
all
quite
right.
old. It was
Yeah, I was
many
gonna say
years
like
of,
that's. Sorry, go ahead.
many years of repressing that whole idea and trying to justify it in other ways. And eventually it got to the point where I realized that I was just lying to myself for a long time and I got sick of it.
Okay. And apparently Soren is sick of it. She's done. And then the episode's going to give us a terrible ending after this lovely confession we get in the speech.
the
Mhm.
control delete.
We complain about work. Oh, that's relatable.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder
not
if
the
someone
best time.
bought that statue.
It's not the best time to talk about this, and that's way off topic. We talked about it by now, but I like a strawberry cheesecake cookie from Subway. I don't know if I told you that already, but
I've never
I did.
had one.
Strawberry cheesecake cookie. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen that.
I don't think my
From
Subway
Subway,
even
you should
sells
try it.
those.
I would never buy that though.
No, I'm perfectly happy to go back to the cookie discussion.
Just-
it's just
I don't-
try it. It's pretty good.
I don't know where to get those because my Subway only has chocolate chip.
Oh.
Man, it's uncomfortable
gonna
receiving
say,
food, but we'll talk about
Subway.
food.
See if they can have it. Go inside
There's a very
Go
big
inside.
difference between talking about food and having people literally buy me things.
Yeah, go
I
inside.
sent
and-
you a pizza emoji. I like DM'd you. one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice one, Elizabeth.
I was going
Yeah.
to the end of the show.
I
Soren has
approve.
just been sentenced to conversion therapy, which is that bad.
Yes. It's bad and the ending is even worse.
It's for her own good, Commander. She's sick. We must fix her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the
forgot how
Orville.
This episode.
Sorry, the
ended,
Orville
man.
deals with this better. Anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like I forgot how this episode ended, but I think this is maybe the worst possible way it could have ended.
I'm just trying to listen to the pronouns that this person uses, see if they accidentally refer to Soren as a she. I haven't noticed it so far.
No, they're not gonna. They didn't slip up on it.
They have been very careful
Yeah,
about
they
avoiding
fix that
pronouns.
in
Yeah.
editing.
Have they just been saying he the whole time, or not using pronouns?
They don't use pronouns.
They just
They
avoid it.
don't,
Yeah.
but Riker was. Riker was saying she. Because
Well, yeah, Riker
Yeah.
certainly.
She was
That was
she was
very
declaring
important.
as a she.
But Evil Kretak wasn't so
I
keen
just
on it.
love that the transporter officers are on standby and instantly hit that
Yeah.
button. They're like,
That's
let's just
that's the
not
chief's job.
verify. Just beam them up. Just like,
Like you got like you're sitting in this room for 16 hours a day. You have one job that takes you do like 15 minutes of actual work every day. Like you have that thing set up in advance.
And you don't verify credentials or anything. It's like,
Even when they take
anybody
a
that says
shuttlecraft, they
call
can just
Riker?
they can just tell O'Brien to beam up the away team. He doesn't know there's an away team. They took a shuttle. Where are they? What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Brian's like that guy who realized that he can use a spreadsheet
And-
to like automate his own job.
Yeah.
And which transporter room is going to get the authority to transport? Because, on a ship of 1,000 people with a couple transporter rooms, who's going to
what-
transport first?
I know we specify
Yeah,
at one
like,
point
like-
which transporter room is the chief's favorite, but I don't remember the
It's
number.
the third one.
Transporter
Three,
room
yeah.
3?
How many are there?
I don't
Enough.
know, there's countless.
Are we counting the cargo transporters and the transporters aboard the shuttlecraft?
No. Transporter rooms. There's different rooms for jobs and rotations and things. But I mean,
I think we see one of the episodes where they evacuate that they have a fair number and they designate it, but I don't remember the exact values if they mention them.
It's funny they
I know there's
mentioned a
at least four.
Romulan ship. They mentioned Romulan ships with transporter rooms for troop transports and massive movements of that.
Yeah.
What
According
if
to
the two transporter rooms try beaming someone up at the same time and they get like cut in half?
Well, we
Oh,
see
yeah,
that
they-
happen.
Show that at
Thomas
some point,
Riker
yeah.
and William Riker.
No, we see that
According
with
to
the
TrekSphere.com.
Romulan spy.
according to TrekSphere.com, the Galaxy class has a standard of 20 transporter rooms.
20.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
lot of
gotta be more than
transporters.
that.
Do they refer to a number higher than 3?
Oh yeah, there's more than
Don't
3. There's
know.
at least
I seem
4
to remember
mentioned.
transporter room 6 for some reason.
There was
Uh,
multiple
I
transporter
do
rooms
too.
in like the first few seasons when they
I
were
don't
transporting
sure
the.
remember like transporter room 19.
Hang on, I've got a
Maybe-
script search. Let me search TNG for transporter room.
Maybe there's some in like the Star Drive section that are just really inconvenient to take the elevator to, where there's like a bunch not designed for people but for like cargo, like we saw in Power Play.
The early TNG episode where they're transporting up the Irish people.
It's Riker we're in right now.
Yeah.
It says black unitard for secret covert missions.
Okay, there are 453 times in the scripts where it's transporter rooms are mentioned. Actually, a lot of these are like set dialogue. Like they're in transporter room, but still, it might take some time to find the highest numbers.
Oh my god.
Transporter room 3, transporter room 3, transporter room 4.
Worf is pretty functional for just having a full.
Yeah. It's been an unclear amount of time since the last episode.
Oh, so the
Well, they
the
gave
number
Stardate.
20, the number 20 comes from the TNG episode 11001001.
Binars?
Yeah. So there are announcements that are used on the ship to tell people how to evacuate, and the
Mhm.
transporter room numbers that they use in those announcements go up to 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's more than
Wow.
just 20 though.
Spoiler.
20 is a lot of transporter rooms.
Not for a ship that's the size of 1,000, especially for how massive it is.
I mean, how many
Yeah.
people do you need to transport at once?
Hello, I mean, I didn't.
Well, for
You guys get to
as
see
I-
the
as I
shuttle
mentioned
bay,
earlier,
the size of the real
Yeah.
shuttle bay when it's rendered.
Well,
on
you can
that
site to
3D
site
Enterprise.
too, which is good. You can site to site.
So transporter
for
room 6.
evacuation they need them a lot.
Transporter room 6 is from the episode with Wesley's shapeshifter girlfriend.
Oh, jeez.
So now that Riker has caused a diplomatic incident,
Yep.
In the name
And
of
Soren has now had a quote unquote successful
Oof.
procedure.
Oof.
Always the same
What is
ferns
it?
on the green planets.
I
same
like, I like
planet
how
that the-
sincere he is here. Yeah.
That planet reminds me of the same planet where Worf goes to try to find that Klingon colony.
It
with
probably
the
is the same
Romulans.
planet.
I'm sure it is. Just drives
It's
me
probably
you
also
see
the one
that
where
race-
Jadzia nearly dies from the gunshot wound.
No, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a different set. I'm pretty sure that one's a
Maybe.
different set with Deep Space Nines.
That race that seeded all the planets with the seeds of life, and that's why all the living creatures look humanoid. Also
Yeah,
seeded
there's-
them with plant life. That's why they all have the same
Yes.
ferns.
No, it's a different plant
Nothing to do
alien
with filming in
species
California.
that preceded the humanoids.
How
that,
many
like, cover the
McKinley Parks
galaxy
are
and
there in the
colony.
galaxy?
That is a serious stare. Right
Riker
there.
is sad.
Yeah.
There will be no
We
vaccine.
need a supercut of Riker getting
The ship is
denied.
sideways in that shot. It drives me up the wall every time.
It's fine. They're not
Whatever.
sideways, they're in space.
Well, they're flying sideways in a straight line.
So if it wasn't clear why I said that ending was terrible, the ending is terrible because the conversion therapy actually works. In real
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
conversion therapy does not work. Conversion therapy is just a means to abuse someone.
Now, not a dating
Yeah.
tip, but general life tip, don't ever recommend conversion therapy to anyone.
Mhm.
Okay, so the time has come to eject someone.
Oh boy. I'm gonna be so mad.
We're rolling dice.
Ah.
Where is it? Where's the die? Where'd it go?
At the front door.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. They moved it over here for some reason. Okay.
Wait, before
One.
we
Yes?
Okay. Oh, never mind. I'll only protect. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I honestly definitely could be wrong. But RoboCorps, have you said anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
Okay,
talking.
I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
Because,
The
yeah,
only person who's immune
looking
is
at the
Felon
episode.
because he volunteered earlier.
If you want,
Three.
I can go.
Everyone's favorite. You're third
Oh.
down the list.
What a shame.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
But he's everyone's favorite.
And there's Jen.
All right, so who's new?
I'm new.
Hello, Jen.
Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Ooh. One of these days, I know that's going to be me coming up on the die roll.
One of these days. All right, the next episode is Cause and Effect, 1 minute countdown.
My mother's favorite episode.
It's everyone's favorite episode.
No, it's my mom. She will always like go on Star Trek stuff and say, "What is my favorite episode?"
Okay.
This episode is awesome, though. It's
Yeah.
so
So
fucking
good.
awesome.
It's impressive for how many different angles of filming the same acting.
It's true.
Yeah, like it's really well directed. It's a Frakes episode for sure.
Of course.
And yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I
Frakes
don't know if
episode
anyone
is
watches
good.
Red Letter Media. Mike from there said, or Mike or Rich had this among their favorites, and they said like, yeah, when they started watching it and the Enterprise blows up, they like ran to their mom, like the Enterprise blew up. And their mom was just like, what? Whatever.
The Enterprise
Check it out. It blew up again.
exploded. All right, 10
It's,
seconds to start. Everyone be ready.
Enterprise blew up.
My body is ready.
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Also, people in the YouTube chat, you might have noticed your if you're a YouTube member originally,
Oh,
your
jeez.
badge has now gone up to the next tier of Lieutenant Commander or Lieutenant Junior grade. Lieutenant Junior grade.
It's Lieutenant Junior.
Yeah, it starts with the 1 gold pip, and now it's 1 gold, 1 black.
There's got to be a list that somebody made of all the times in the series that the Enterprise blew up.
It's not that
Yeah.
many.
It's a fair number.
4 times in
Let's
this
see.
episode.
Twice
Once in
in All
10
Good Things.
Oh no,
Three
the
times,
bridge is on
actually.
fire.
Once, of course, where it shoots itself. That was a fun one.
Timescape blows up in
That's part of it.
Timescape.
It does.
Does it blow up
So
in the
they
one where Picard meets the duplicate Picard with like the anti-time?
I don't know if we
shuttle pod?
see it explode
Time
there.
squared.
Yeah, we do. It's in the log, in the recovered log.
Yeah. You remember? I remember. Yeah.
They're like watching it. Yeah.
Okay.
Times Square.
Squared,
Isn't
I
that what-
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, times.
So the explosion of the
Yes.
Enterprise there, they
Wait, hold
loaded
that
a
thought.
model
Fake
with
stars going by.
fireworks.
Bye, stars. Okay, continue.
They loaded a model with like fireworks and did like a real blow up there. But I always hate the way the right nacelle kind of falls off, like clearly affected by gravity.
You can see a little bit of the wobble as it's hanging on the wires.
Yeah, it's not great, but I like that they like committed to that. They're like, no, we're gonna commit budget to building this thing and fucking blowing it up.
They actually built like 3 different models because there's 3 different explosions in the episode.
Well, maybe they just
Yeah,
filmed it
like
with 3
this-
different cameras.
No, the
This is an
explosions are
expensive
distinctly
episode.
different.
They did all that. Plus, they have like a very high profile at the time cameo at the end too, which is interesting. So stay tuned.
Unfortunately, that's all it is a cameo.
Yeah, there's some
And-
story
and
with
it-
that. I'll get to when we get there. But yeah, it's a whole
I
thing.
mean, they weren't even on the same set. You know, like they never.
There's
met.
We'll talk about that more when we get to it. Yeah.
We'll talk about it in
there
like
is somebody-
43 minutes when he shows up for
Yeah.
a minute.
There is somebody who compiled screenshots from Cheers and Frasier and proved that Cheers and Frasier are in the same universe as The Next Generation.
Okay.
I think
Well, Cheers and
Kate
Frasier are,
Mulgrew-
but with DS9, yeah, or TNG.
Didn't somebody like make a big map that says all these TV shows are in the one kid's dream from the one? What is it?
Oh yeah,
TV show.
The end of Saint Elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
Oh,
End of Saint
guest stars
Elsewhere
Michelle
is
Forbes.
all in the mind of a
Ensign Roseback.
autistic kid. So.
Just pay attention
Yeah,
to every
people
space
are
we saw her
shot.
right at the start of the
Every
episode.
single time they reset, it's always a different
Definitely
shot.
Law and Order. It shows
Kelsey
the
Grammer
Well,
is
there's the
Captain
credit
Batesman.
on screen.
place there.
It's Kelsey Grammer is the guest star. It's already revealed, but yeah. And they wanted Kirstie Alley too, but apparently they just couldn't afford it.
Oh, what? That would have been her.
Well, that
second
would
Star Trek
just be
movie.
Savik.
Yeah.
No, in the scene Grammer's in the background, his first officer is a lady who looks a lot like her, and I would assume that's who it was supposed to be.
Now, can anyone here recite the cards from memory already? Do you already know it? Is that a no? I
I think I'm
remember.
that good. No.
I remember Jonathan Frakes yelling
I've seen
out
this
6
a
ace
lot.
deuce.
So when seeing this episode for the first
It's
time,
all threes.
I always
yeah,
hear no help
remember
for the Klingon.
threes.
Oh yeah.
so I actually
Yeah.
saw this episode when it aired originally, and after the cold open, when we come to this, it was mind blowing because I was like, "Wait, did that just happen? Did the Enterprise explode, or am I misremembering?"
Hardly
Yeah,
dead.
is
I
this a
was confused.
flashback
It's
or-
a good episode. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I
Mr.
was like, are they
Mugger,
dead?
that status thing comes from the join button, which is YouTube membership, which is basically you give me $1 and you get a little icon next to your name, and that's it. Oh, well, you also get emojis.
Shameless
You put-
plug.
Let me put all the emojis that you get in the chat. There they are.
Shameless plug.
This was written by Brandon Braga. Really good writing.
Mm.
You know, we had the barrel episode and no one used the barrel. Just putting it out there.
Oh,
People
I
use the
spammed the
barrel.
barrel at the beginning.
Jeez.
I
Yeah, at the
totally use the
beginning.
barrel.
There it is. Do it.
Yes, the video is blurred because copyright. That's just to help you sync up where you are and have something happen on screen. The idea is that you watch the episode on your own, either on Amazon or Netflix or DVD, and you just sync up to the timestamp and we watch it together.
Yeah, you can use the timestamp and like major scene changes to sync up because when
Yeah.
the scene changes in the blur, you can see the difference in the shot.
I would be really curious if anybody actually was watching on DVD or Blu-ray rather
Not
than
me.
video on demand.
No,
Yeah, not me
Netflix.
either.
I'm watching from a ripped Blu-ray because I own them.
I do have. I do have them on.
Oh, I missed the
DVD,
cold
but-
open. Ah.
The join button,
Does anyone have?
Mugger, is it should be right next to where the subscribe button is, right under the video. It should say
Yeah,
just
it's a little
join.
It's a little dollar bill too.
Yeah.
You can,
Is
there's a little
anybody
dollar
watching
bill
the closed
sign.
caption?
Oh, Bill.
Apparently Elizabeth
I
is
do.
watching
I always
from
watch
the
the
DVDs.
captions.
I always watch with closed captions on, especially here because I wouldn't be able to tell what the characters are saying with everyone talking.
True.
I like that when she won with squeals and parentheses.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's the speech we hear 3 times.
Ensign Fletcher. Not Louise.
I love
That's a
this.
different
Look at this.
Fletcher.
Look at this tracking shot. Really nice rotation here.
Yeah, they had to come up with interesting ways to shoot this scene, of course.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he got to be creative to kind of, because you have to show all this stuff, and you have to kind of try to keep it fresh. But also, I think it lends to the theme of the episode, which is it's all very disorienting.
Yeah. No, it was kind of gutsy for them to reuse that much of the dialogue like that, like to just make us sit through it.
They really don't actually make you sit through all the dialogue. They do shift you to different parts and different perspectives.
Enough though. Like that speech you hear pretty much all the way through it 3 times. Like that's a weird amount of time to make the viewer sit there watching something they've already seen.
Like the primary story point is repetitiveness, and it's tough to make that interesting, sometimes. So he with the creative cuts, with the revised angles, that kind of thing. Because in terms of the way the actors play it, they basically have to play it the same because that's kind of the point. So you have to find other ways to make it, not boring to watch. And I think it's really well done. I think it lends a lot to what Frakes can do as a director.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's necessarily boring to watch the same thing. I don't know that's necessarily boring to watch the same thing over and over again, because they do enough with each loop to make it sure, okay, what's going to change this time? It's actually attention grabbing as opposed to boring.
Yeah, I'm generalizing, but I mean, there are parts that have to be the same. Like,
but
the poker stuff is basically the same.
I have a question.
Parts,
Why does Gates McFadden have a rope in her hair?
That, like, does anyone
More importantly,
just, like, tie a
is the blue liquid on her nightstand?
Can we raise Jen's level a little bit? I can barely.
Yeah.
I raised her a bit on my end, but that won't affect for everyone else. It's per client.
Yeah, people with long hair actually put a tie in their hair before they go to sleep. Is that a thing that people with long hair do?
Nobody that I know with long hair has ever done that, but I don't have an exhaustive list of all people with long hair.
I wouldn't tie my hair like that. Maybe I'd tie my hair up, but...
What is the blue liquid on her table? I want to know.
It's probably the same as the jar in sickbay, is my guess.
Yeah, but it's
It's
open.
Romulan
It's open
ale.
aired.
Maybe she just took water and colored it blue.
Look how dirty that table is.
She put her book on top of it.
Clean that table.
The flux spectrometers.
Flux capacitor.
You think in the future they'd invent a surface that's immune to fingerprints?
It's not the future.
Oh, so this episode is where that outtake I mentioned was from, with Geordi's beard. It's when they get back down to engineering.
No.
What? They're right next to each other, as if this was filmed on a weekly basis?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So I like this episode. Because it kind of reminds me of, when they have to keep doing retakes to get this right. This is kind of what they're doing, except they're actually showing it.
Yeah. Which had to have made the filming logistics pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Like, are we on loop? We're filming loop 3 now. Okay, now we're going to film loop 2.
That's a good point.
Not suspicious.
It saves money though, and the times. Like, they already have everybody together on set to do the recordings of each loop.
A lot of the loops, especially in the conference room, are just the same conversation recorded with different cameras.
Yeah.
Like there's one out of frame that's on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get that in the end.
Well, obviously they're going to be recording every scene multiple times anyway. Just for normal, just to have extra shots. So maybe they'll just use some for later on, or.
Yeah, they could just construct all the sequences and editing out of all the takes that they did.
Yep.
Brian, was it you and I having this discussion that this is not a Miranda class?
I talked about it in one of my videos, where it was an accurate summary video, which I kind of stopped doing, but maybe I should start back up. Where I kept referring to it as Miranda class, and then I got to the end, I was like, wait, they say that's Soyuz. What do you mean that's Soyuz? It's clearly just a Miranda class.
It's Miranda, I swear to God, yeah. We had a discussion on it, though.
Maybe.
Why couldn't they do both of these options at the same time, though?
Man, Frasier is a
There's no
terrible
reason
driver.
they couldn't.
It had to be easy enough and polarized to have
Oh, hey,
a
Tracy.
solution.
Bye, Tracy.
Oh no. Yeah,
I mean, but
Frasier
what was
sucks.
what was Tracy
at
doing in all
flying
these
here.
time loops?
Poor
What's she been up to?
Jonathan. Having to pretend his rocking while leaning in his funky posture.
Oh no, I think I did.
Scrambled eggs.
The way Georgie says that
all
to
over the place.
bridge.
I did
opposed
run
to
this
the,
scene. Go ahead.
The way Georgie that says that all of his lines to the bridge as opposed to actually getting on with it.
I did try stabilizing that shot in a video editor, but there's not enough to work with.
So
it's zooming in and changing
was
perspective
behind
all the
the
time,
ship.
and it doesn't really work
That
too
second
well.
shot was in front from far away.
This is the first time I've ever watched this episode without commercial breaks. The commercial breaks make a gigantic difference in this episode in particular.
Oh yeah, cliffhangers and just all kinds of it's great. If you watch Worf, is this where he folds face up? Oh, okay, he folds his cards face up, which is bad etiquette.
He flips the hold card over and then he flips them all face down.
Yeah, which you can't, because you're revealing information while other players are still in the hand.
Right.
He's
So they know what the cards
Klingon.
mean.
He doesn't know.
I like Worf's reaction there when Data says, "Oh, you get this card, no help there," and Worf just glares at him. It's like it's not his fault.
So this seems like the second loop, but really they've been at this for what, 3 weeks? What's what they say at the end of the episode?
It's
something like that. Yeah.
Long time.
How many loops until they start to realize that they're looping?
Well, it's like one loop per day, right? Maybe half a day.
This one, I think this is the first.
We don't know.
Yeah, this is where they start getting an inkling of it.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
first
I
loop
love
they started
these-
realizing things were wrong, but
I love these close-ups. These
I thought it was
close-ups
in the
are
first.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the
No,
first,
good call. These tight shots
dramatic
are
close-ups.
fantastic.
yeah, they work very well. As far as we know, though, the teaser, the cold opener, that was the first loop, as far as we know.
But we have
Yeah,
no
I
way
think
of
we're-
knowing that.
Third loop now.
I'm not in the back of the bridge there.
And I found that in the first one, something wasn't going right, so they were confused.
I forgot to mention it when we got the line, but in the first loop, in the first scene out poker, it's one of the worst Riker lines where he just gets he's a sore loser. He loses the poker game. It's like, I guess it's better be lucky than good. It's like, come on, Riker. She beat you at poker. Get over it.
Yeah.
That's very dickish.
Riker is, he's so used to winning. He can't handle it. He's actually quite petulant a lot of the times when he doesn't get his way. Like with Captain Jellicoe, he starts sulking in his room. Oh, Jesus.
Kevin.
Oh, what's that?
Ah,
This is where client-side volume adjustment comes in handy. Must be deja vu.
They're in the Matrix. That's it.
Something changed.
It changed.
So, in that last scene, Dr. Crusher had those clips in her hair. So maybe that's why she wears the rope here. Is she wants to hold it like the clips do, but the clips are not comfortable to sleep on. So these are like instead of those clips.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Maybe she should sleep in a restraining field so she doesn't move
Yeah.
and mess up her hair.
She was going to make Morph sleep in her restraining field for a year.
that little glass can only handle 1-2 sips at most.
And she didn't even finish it.
So she must be like 100
Oh,
proof
yeah.
or something.
yeah, this is
I don't know what that
Did you
liquid
just
is.
delete-
Oh my god.
to cut down her
That's
drinking.
just a-
She has a problem.
There's
She's
just a
having
piece of plastic to
problem.
put on the table there.
Well, it
Hey,
looks
so
like the thing.
Picard's not the only one who likes real books, then. Physical
She
books.
had like a fish in it, but that fish died, and now she just has the fish
Fast
bowl.
breaks. Fast breaks.
It's like a futuristic container for dentures, maybe.
I'm a doctor, but my fish still die. I don't know what's wrong.
Maybe
Well,
it's because you
she-
keep covering the bowl with your book.
Picard's got fish all over the place, right? He's got fish in his ready room and fish in his quarters, and they're always alive. He's busy, but like he's got maybe it's got someone feeding them. I don't know.
I thought
But
Does
at one
Captain
point
Picard have a
died.
fish
I would assume
tender, or does the
self-feeding.
computer feed the fish?
I
It's
thought
got to
the
be self-feeding.
fish in his
How
ready
long
room
is he-
though were fake at one point.
Or they die and then they just keep like replacing them.
What if it's just a hologram?
They still have the
Holographic fish?
Target brand mugs.
Oh, that's a
They
good
still
idea.
have them.
How often does Picard wear that gray shirt without the Avenger jacket?
Sometimes.
This is one of the only
It happens a
times.
few times.
You guys do realize that every time they show that book open, it's a different page.
Is this the ready
I-
room?
Yeah,
Because he's
Yeah.
reading it.
it's ready room.
This is
So why would he go up to the ready room to meet with her in the middle of the night? Why wouldn't she come to his quarters?
maybe he was already here doing some late work.
This was probably after his
He took a
shift.
break.
He just
She
he just
still
stops
has
her.
the rope, so she
Maybe
just
he
got
still
up
has the
and she didn't change her hair.
Maybe
I mean,
he was
she-
off shift finishing some
She's got
reports.
things to do. She doesn't have time to fix her hair.
Yeah, I read it as he was up late working.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe where his quarters
Her
are,
quarters
he
are-
can hear his neighbors, and he just wanted some peace and quiet on the bridge. One's off.
I think his
Yeah,
quarters are
Data's
near
always
the
on
battle
duty.
bridge, aren't they?
The paddle bridge is far away.
Yeah,
Data
Yeah,
says
no, most of the
Data
gotta
says
be in the
later-
saucer section
Beverly's
somewhere.
quarters was near the bridge somehow.
On
Most of the
in
senior
stage 9,
officers'
it's on the
quarters-
same deck as the battle bridge, I think.
most of the senior officers' quarters are in the like keyhole shaped thing that's below the bridge on the saucer section.
She's fixed her hair
On the
now.
saucer
No more
section?
rope.
Okay.
Well, she's fixed her hair because everybody's been showered and dressed now.
20,000 kilometers off the starboard bow. That's pretty far away. You've probably got time to move around. How fast could it
just love,
possibly
like,
be
this-
moving?
Their understanding of distance measurements is just all messed up. Whatever.
I just love
Is
this
that
vibe of like
infrared?
knowing something's wrong but not quite sure what it is, and like it's just so frustrating.
Okay, I want to
That's
time
the,
how long it takes
time
between
medium.
it emerging and impact to determine exactly how fast that ship is moving. Stopwatch?
What do you have as? Oh, you have the Enterprise as reference, I suppose.
Yeah. Because I don't think the Enterprise is moving.
Is
Well,
that
They
everything
could be
is
they're
moving.
coasting forward.
Everything is moving in space. When they say full
They're
stop,
coasting
it's not a thing you
forward.
can do in full space.
Well, I'm just
Or
looking at
anything,
Is
the
Dr. Crusher
the anomaly
working
out the window. It
tactical right
doesn't
now?
seem to be getting bigger. Okay, so that's got to be zoomed in because the angle that is taking up on
Yes,
the
it's
screen
zoomed in.
would be insane if it's 20,000 kilometers away.
It is zoomed in.
It's just really enormous.
Okay, it's been 20 seconds so far. Now, if their 36 seconds is accurate, it should hit in around 20 more seconds.
No!
Edison Worf is
like
that
I was
instant
coming
Laren at the
Blew
helm?
up again!
I want to know where the tractor beam port is firing from because it shoots from the lower part of the ship
Yeah.
through the saucer section. Take a look at it next time.
Was that Rolaren?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
rolling.
in row there.
Okay.
Yeah, we
So-
get some row here with
The
longer hair.
USS Bozeman is moving at over 600 kilometers per second.
That's a
Speeding
brisk
bullet.
pace.
It's moving real quick.
Oh, man.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's one of
Different
the
explosion.
different
I
explosions.
It wouldn't
love
be
the
more stable as
explosion. So good.
So cool. God, this
Poor
is such
Enterprise.
a good episode.
It is.
Boom.
Notice
Yeah.
the
Yeah, you
time
can
on
be
expanse.
Be able to warp stabilize it.
And all brought to you courtesy of Fraser Crane's lousy driving.
Yeah.
Fraser
Also,
Salad
Data
and
was
scrambled eggs all over the place.
Data's estimate of 36 seconds was off by a full 15 seconds.
Ooh.
He doubled the
Wow.
So
estimate.
he slid it down with the tractor beam.
You know, maybe it's because he's got his head all full of number 3s and he just can't figure out what the second.
His head's full of number 3, therefore he's off by a factor of 3.
His heads are full of number 3.
Yeah,
and the
there you
final
go.
loop.
Only in the final loop.
So yeah, that's probably why Data's plan didn't work, because he just completely misjudged the distance. But no one has bets.
Just deal.
That's not how you play the game, Doctor. You have to
Just
bet.
Deal. I want to see the pictures on the cards. Come on.
Jack.
His head is the shiny
4.
material again. The sparkles.
6.
And then they zoom in here too. That's very good.
Why does Data even have the visor?
I don't know. It just makes him look
What's that
fancy.
for?
He wants to be more human. Okay.
It's probably tying into his Sherlock Holmes thing.
This is what
it's
humans
a human
wear
thing.
when they deal cards. So he has
Oh,
to
of
wear
course.
it when he deals cards.
He wants to look cool.
He researched everything about poker when he was about to play
Exactly.
poker, and he was like, "Gotta replicate one of these visors."
Yep.
No, I've never. Well, actually, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, people are calling sickbay and reporting to Dr. Crusher for deja vu? What do you mean she's getting reports?
Report all kinds of things.
Has she been calling around?
You've done this before. You should go to sick bay. You're sick or something. God.
Is that what Nurse Ogawa is doing? Because she's not here right now. Did Dr. Crusher just send her to go door to door?
Imagine feeling justified to
other
go to sick bay
episodes with,
because you
like-
feel like you've done this before. Like how bad it would be.
Like there's like do you have trouble sleeping? But there are other episodes where they just report to sickbay about random things that are not like.
That's
I can't
the
They go to sickbay for headaches a lot, even though they've apparently eliminated headaches. They don't exist.
There's no headaches. There's no headaches unless something's wrong with you, or a Ferengi is trying to exact revenge on you, or something like that.
I mean, that's probably true in general. They don't get a headache unless something is wrong.
They don't
It's
get
not
cold unless it's Angel One.
Yep. They eliminated the common cold. It was a disease that my mother told me people used to get. The cold.
Which is why Wesley
Oh.
asks a robot if he's caught a disease that has not existed in hundreds of years.
Yes.
Yes. Or maybe,
He's the wunderkind of physics, not of medicine.
Well, but they don't mention COVID, so maybe
No.
it's so gone that even Dr. Crusher's never heard of it.
This handheld camera waviness, this also is very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Making it
It's
feel really
Jonathan
uneasy.
You feel a bit
Incredible.
uneasy.
That's what he's doing.
It makes you feel really disoriented watching this scene.
Oh yeah.
Does this
Gonna
still
put it on
break
that
when she's
table.
sitting on the other
Yes,
table?
very
Yeah, she
Yes,
still
it's
breaks things.
not
She picks up her
break, yeah.
cloak,
Yeah, she-
her coat,
yeah,
and drags
yeah.
in. Crunch.
It's very Groundhog's Day. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. I mean,
There's a
so
bathroom.
many time loops episodes
Oh,
of so
bye,
many
bathroom.
shows. Almost always, it's like Groundhog Day. Someone is aware of the time loop. That's what I like so much about this one. It is purely.
There's the bathroom again.
No one's in on it.
I mean, if nobody
Although
was
everyone-
if nobody was aware of the
Groundhog
time
Day,
loop, the
though.
time loop would never end.
Yeah, it's true.
And that would be a horrible episode to film.
But like,
Good job, Doctor.
even like the Discovery episode with the time loop is more Groundhog Day. Although that one's fun because there's a bad guy involved, which I haven't
Yeah.
seen before.
Oh yeah, I love
That was a
This
good
is
episode.
Real time loop. That was awesome. Yeah.
I think
That's
what
This
they're trying
released
to
in
imply.
92. This released
Hang
in
on,
92.
hang on.
Groundhog Day was 93, so this predated. Yeah.
This scene right
think what
here
they
is
were-
where the outtake is, where
Right.
Yes.
Dr. Crusher is asking. I wasn't just hearing things. Right there, they just turn to
think
each other
what-
and they just shrug.
So I think what
So
they're
the
trying to
broken-
imply with the glass was that no matter what you do, if you try and change it, the end result's going to be the same. You can't change what's destined to happen.
The
The
feeling
glass
we're
is
trying
a
to give
fixed
you.
Well-
point in time.
I'd like
Yeah.
to think that Dr. Crusher just breaks a glass every day, whether there's a time loop or not. He doesn't really come.
Could be.
And what are you doing breaking glasses? Somebody's near
Luckily-
breaking glasses, Cruncher.
Luckily, she can just recycle the shards in the replicator and get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you have to clean all the mess up.
I'm pretty
all
sure
the
the
glass.
floors
Theater does that.
cleans it up.
Approximately 1,000
1,000
pieces overlapping.
overlapping. That's almost as many people as there are on the ship. Wouldn't enough people be sleeping?
So
at the
Crusher has a very apt name if she breaks a glass every night, but she breaks it every night because it's the last of like the she drank 20 of those prior, and so she's just shit faced going to bed and breaks the glass.
Yeah,
That's
she
about
gets
nice to
shit
break the glass
faced, then she trims her plants, then she breaks a glass.
So the big
Yeah,
question
she gets
here,
hammered and trims plants. That's what she does.
the big question for the Bozeman crew here in this episode is how insane must they all be by now after going through that for 80 years?
And my impression of it
The
is that
captain's like,
their time loop is only
He
like a
had
few
no
seconds.
idea.
The captain's like, I had
Maybe.
this fever dream where I kept going to this bar in Boston, and then I moved to Seattle and became a radio psychiatrist. It was crazy.
I think the
Hey,
bigger question is
this
how are they
is a
so
meme.
inept that they didn't notice for 80 years? And it only took the Enterprise crew 3 weeks.
Given the fact that they didn't notice, it must have been a really, really short time loop.
Yeah,
The
that
Enterprise
makes
gets a
sense.
full
Wouldn't
day.
it logically be the same as their time loop? Wouldn't it be the same length? Like, why would it be a shorter time loop?
Don't worry about it.
Repeat it then.
It's just
Yeah.
the plot for a good episode. 80 years is a drop in the bucket for temporal mechanics.
But also, Enterprise got lucky in a couple of ways with Geordi's visor and whatnot. Got more answers.
Yeah,
So,
and the
part
fact
of
that
the
they
way-
have the data.
Part of the
Yeah,
way
he
this
keeps
episode
going back.
ends makes me think that if the Enterprise just had some technology that we have today, they would have noticed. Because at the end of the episode, Picard tells them to correct the Enterprise's clock with relation to the clock that Starfleet sends out. If it just did that automatically, the computer would be like, "Yo, we're out of sync with time a whole lot here."
That's
Yeah.
true.
The computer should be scanning for a lot of things. It should be synchronizing the clock and letting them know if something's all screwy. It should be scanning for the captain.
Changes in star system should be, obvious.
Or they know it's them.
That conference shot earlier with the reflection off the table, the starfield was not matching what was outside.
Okay.
Just saying.
Also, Riker, this is a really stupid argument. Why would you have ever reversed course if it weren't for the time loop? Just go backwards.
That's true. It's a good point.
Because because you're always running away from what would happen.
But if
Sometimes
reversing
reverse
is what sent
course
you into the
just
time
for
loop in the
fun.
first place, how would you have hit the time loop? Because you wouldn't have reversed the first time.
Oh, good question.
Don't
yeah,
worry about it.
to checkmate.
Oh, okay, I won't worry about it then.
That's something that they actually should have. That Data should have actually.
They just should have called him out for being an idiot. He should know better than this.
No. That was your explanation is genuinely valid. That if they had reversed, they would have not. Whatever your logic was, I forgot, but it works. Unfortunately for the writer, it would have shortcut the drama.
Don't worry about it, right?
There are so many ways they could solve this. They could take a random sampling of like the particle density, and that'll fluctuate. If it's an even number, you turn left. If it's an odd number, you turn right. You could reverse. You could do literally anything to avoid this thing. It's not hard. If you know you're in the time loop, it's easy to avoid it. To avoid the crash, at least.
If only time would actually work
Oh,
that way.
you're in head, guys.
But no
Yeah,
blue
blue.
LEDs. Those don't exist
No,
yet.
but hey, yeah, that's right. See,
But
all
he's got
green,
this long
orange,
yellow
and
light
red.
there.
I think that's something that they added for him to send the message, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the
correct.
the tiny
The
little
chip sticking
motherboard.
out.
Why does it have a light on it though? Why is there
So that
a
we can
little
see
tube
it
light?
for filming.
I want to
But
set
what
up
does it
Data's
do?
head to play Simon.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Beep, beep, beep.
Well, they could send one word, right? Could they just send the word reverse? Because apparently...
No. It sounded like they could send up to 3 characters.
Look at fucking Riker. Look at Riker's leg. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he does that all the
Just
time.
saddles up.
They could send
it's so
180,
obvious here.
indicating turnaround.
I
We had
think
the
that he's
handheld
stepping
camera
on
again.
Data's lap right now. He has no idea.
It's also why he does the Riker maneuver.
I wonder how many times they had to repaint that console because of the shoe marks from Riker.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
And it's
Well, we
only
don't
on
need to
that
ever
one.
paint it because every time we see it, Riker's foot is on it. It's hiding the mark.
There you go.
What I don't like about this is, and this always bugs me with this episode, is like they each have a suggestion. It's like, why the fuck wouldn't you do both? Like you would always do both, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Data's an
There are
android.
so many easy ways to solve this episode.
I feel bad nitpicking it because I do love this episode.
It's
a lot,
amazing.
but
Yeah.
See, the tractor beam goes through the saucer section. Whatever.
They have tractor beams everywhere.
It starts from below the hull, like in the lower part, and it goes
That's
through.
why it doesn't work.
It's just...
So it's really good, guys.
Now comes from underneath.
Why are you even
Riker
ordering
fell
them to
down
escape pods? You know you're in a time loop, but you're just going to go back. It's fine.
They have to follow procedures. They're not going to change procedures just because of...
See, not changing procedures is what got them into the mess in the first place. Just turn around.
See, if Riker had been in his chair instead of like saddling up on Data's station there, he would
that's
have fallen over.
That's the same explosion as the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first 2 times.
With that weird nacelle falling effect, yeah.
That the ship is blown up 4 times now. So 1, 2, and 4 are the same. Third has been different.
A new area of
I think
space
this
known
is
as
the
the Typhon expanse.
Oh yes.
New area. We've never ever been here before. Not even this episode.
Last
Really?
episode, the table was a hexagon. This one is round. Are we in someone else's quarters?
Yeah, this is Riker's quarters.
Okay.
Don't know if they change corners.
I like the fact that they've already suggested Jade is stacking the deck, so this scene makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it was
yeah, that's
foreshadowing.
clever.
That's what that was. Clever foreshadowing.
Well, looks like you were long, Beverly. Good job. So there's no way this message actually works, right? If they can send 3 characters, how do they make Data's positronic network with 3 characters?
It's not 3 characters. It's 1 character.
He
It's a
only
number.
had time to send 1.
But even if he just sent the number 3, why would that do any of this?
Because it's clever writing.
it was
subconscious level.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But it doesn't make sense.
Don't worry about
have
it.
It
to.
makes sense. It makes
do-
perfect sense.
Don't worry about it.
The story way, which is
If I hear
do
just someone say the number 3, I don't start doing everything in my life in 3s.
but it doesn't
But you're
implant
not
itself
immune.
deep in your subconscious somehow.
No, it's
that's
stuck
the sort
in
of
your
implication.
head.
He
That's
did a
the
level
thing.
3 diagnostic. The 3 shows up and he does other things, and
Yeah,
This loop
Data
does
said
have
that-
my favorite line in the whole show. I'll run a pattern matching number. That's not the line. That's not the line at all. I'll run a pattern matching algorithm on the number 3. You're gonna get so many results from that, Jordy. What do you mean?
Match 3 with 0 or 1.
I
Or,
got 3 wishes. I got 3 bears. I got...
It could mean anything,
Medical
Jordy. You're not
tricorder.
helping. Yeah, the camera work's getting progressively more spooky.
Yeah, really low angle here, like crazy. This is like Orson Welles low angle stuff here.
And it's pulling out.
don't step
How
on
often
the
we see the
camera.
ceiling of the bay?
I don't
There's
have
a
to
Brakes pulling out joke there, but I don't know what it is.
Did they have to ban the
cold
fork?
gear? The cold gear
I have to
underneath the
ban-
desk.
Did they have to ban the fork doing this or what?
Do they have to what?
Did they have to ban the? Did they have to ban the fork when they do those shots or how they do?
Yeah,
how they did
they'll-
that?
The cameraman, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
camera
even
knows
because
all
it's
of
a
it.
it's a set and you can disassemble it, they'll often even remove floor panels and shoot from underneath, technically
Oh,
underneath
okay.
the floor
Okay,
as needed. It's really incredible the set
And that-
construction and breakdown process.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. I didn't know that. That does make sense still. Okay.
No, that's a good question, and I mentioned Wells because, like in Citizen Kane, there's a lot of these low angle shots where they literally like dug into the floor of the stage just to get the correct low angle.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the Saturn is ready for
So
reading.
here's what he was doing before Beverly shows up. He's just hanging out on his couch, just chilling.
He's just having a
Just
drink,
decided-
just
decided to relax in the ready
and
room.
that's
rather-
probably not
Is
T.O.
he-
Gray
Earl
as
Grey
well.
tea?
No,
that
it looks like whiskey.
Scotch.
It doesn't look
is
hot.
he working and he's taking a break, maybe? Like he's taking a break from doing reports. or
Is he
whatever it
commanding the
sense.
Enterprise while drinking scotch?
He's off duty. He's wearing
He's doing
gray.
reports.
Why
like,
not?
At my job, I have to do reports a few times a month, and I'll often do it late at night while drinking, just because it's like it doesn't require a lot of brain power. It's just tedious work that has to get done. You know what I mean?
That makes
So
sense.
like maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know.
Well,
Well, he's
I guess it
reading a
would be
book, though.
synthahol, right? So it wouldn't make him drunk anyways.
I mean, the captain has real scotch.
I would assume he has
Yeah.
real scotch as needed.
He also has Aldebaran whiskey.
Synthahol does make you drunk, though. It made 7 of 9 drunk that one time. It
Yes.
just
Yes,
wears off
it-
more quickly.
It,
Doesn't
it
give
goes
you a
off if you
hangover.
have adrenaline, like so you can do your duties, right?
If
So,
I'm not mistaken, he
someone's
wasn't
been-
wearing the gray. He was
He
wearing
was.
a full normal uniform.
No, he was. He
last
was.
loop.
No,
he's
he was wearing the gray.
Yeah.
Now he's
So
got his jacket on because it's cold in sickbay.
If there's a red alert,
It
is
gets
there
thrown
something
everywhere.
that like jump scares everyone in 10 forward to get the adrenaline? They just have like a screaming sound all of a sudden.
The little pyramid in the center of their
Yeah.
table
It starts screaming at them.
projects a scary hologram. Yeah.
They hear the red alerts jingle in 10 forward. There's
I mean,
multiple
yeah,
times
but
they're
it
in
wouldn't be
10
that
forward and the red
panicky,
alert kicks
surely.
in.
They hear it all the
Maybe
time.
their
They're
comm
used to
badge.
it.
Maybe their
Here's
comm badge
the-
gives them a shock.
Here's another question that I've been always wondering. How, and I think I might have this, but how did they do? They just fast typing. Does he have to actually do it,
There's
or
a
do
graph
they
again.
Just speed it up.
They just speed it up, right? Speed it up, right?
they speed it up?
Yeah, it's speeded
Yeah.
up footage. That's
Oh, here's the camera.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
the
what I
ceiling shot.
Oh, this is a
yeah,
great
now we
shot.
got a really high angle.
So yeah, this is exactly
That's
the
like
same
beginning
scene as
of Touch of
before.
Evil.
They're not redoing it. It's just the camera.
Yep. Now we have a little rotating, maybe a crane here.
Yeah, clean that desk.
I think they
It's
did
not
slightly
great
change
if they're in a
the
room.
playback of the recording, but that's just overlaid anyway, so they can change it as much as they want.
I would assume a lot of the audio matching was done in post, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
No, Riker, once
Ooh.
again,
Worf's
you absolutely should reverse course. Worf is
Worf's
Worf
ordering
is
a
right.
MP there.
See, we have to.
Worf
but
doesn't
we-
have a mic on them.
They didn't listen to Riker this time, but they also didn't listen to Riker at the end, and that's what blew up the ship. Right? They
It's
were
true.
supposed. If they had just
No,
vented the shuttle
definitely.
bay,
Decompressed
they
main
just-
shuttle bay.
if
Just
they
eject
weren't so
everybody
committed
out.
to denying Worf, they could have solved this.
Troy has nothing to add in this conversation at all. She has just nothing to say here.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the show, right? Like that's kind of a running theme.
Her job is to
sometimes
not
she
have a
has-
job.
Well, I mean,
There's
ship's
no one-
counselor. The counselor's supposed to be doing, crew
But why is
morale,
she
not,
here?
Oh, she's supposed to be doing a lot of things, but she doesn't.
Wait,
That's,
Are we going to get the
She's
line
a-
pattern matching
she's a
algorithm on the number
linguist.
3?
Expert. She's
There she is.
she's-
Wait.
She can tell when Ron.
Thank you. There it is. Oh,
oh my
There
it is.
god.
Thank you, Jordy.
That's amazing.
I have no idea what he expects to find from that.
I do like the breathing just because it's rare that they come up with a solution that's satisfying, that's sort of clever to like it's always an interesting problem, but then some random, technobabble to fix it. This time it's actually that makes sense.
I like technobabble.
One of the few
I mean, I
times
do
we get
too,
to see the
I like
shuttle bay
Technobabble so
miniature.
much I don't.
nice and slow.
I like Technobabble so much I don't like to call it Technobabble.
Fine.
I remember like watching this as a kid, and my mom would come in and go like, "Do you understand what they're saying?" I'm like, "Yep, I do."
It's, yeah, if you know it, it's not technobabble, it's just babble at that point,
I mean,
It's only
sometimes,
technobabble to people who don't
Jordy
understand
comes
it.
in with something,
Oh,
and
look,
you're
it's a
like,
Miranda class.
"Oh yeah, Jordy, good idea." Like I don't know what he's
Yeah,
saying.
I don't know
It's a
how my
Soyuz
car.
class.
I don't know how my
No.
car works, but I know how the warp drive works.
Oh,
Okay,
jeez.
impact in 36 seconds. We'll see how well
About the
that holds
rocket.
up.
Yes, Riker, do that. Do that, Riker.
Maybe if we weren't wasting
No, don't
like
do
half of
that.
our time before impact just chatting calmly.
Yeah, I love this moment of recognition by Spiner. This is this is so good.
It's really good.
My God, I'm going to disobey a direct order.
I assume this is sort of a time slowdown here because this is taking a while.
And okay, so
we're
the
at-
pips are right in his face. So really, if Riker didn't
Main
saddle
shuttle
up
bay
to the
with
station
2
there,
shuttles.
they never would have solved this.
You know what? Just because the tractor beam doesn't work doesn't mean the shuttle bay thing is going to automatically work. Like they're just lucky that it did.
Yeah.
But
No,
they
like I
could've
said,
still
do
blown
both.
up.
Always do both.
What?
Always
Yeah.
do both. But no, if Riker didn't saddle up like that, he never would have figured it out. So that's, in a way, Riker's invasion of personal space saved the day, I guess.
Yes. Riker's
See, but-
dickishness saves the day again.
Gotta look at the
How
pips.
can they ever know for sure that they're truly out of the loop?
Well, they can synchronize to the
Maybe.
time base.
You ever have a
Dana
dream
needs to
that
go to
you're
the doctor and have the number 3 wiped from his brain now because he's
Yes.
just continually like put number 3s everywhere. It's like we can't play poker with him anymore because all we get is
17
3.
days.
17.4 days. They could have checked that at any point in time. Well,
Yeah, they really should have.
They could have checked that at any point of time during the day, right?
Yeah.
It's a
That
good
would've
thing they
been
didn't
pretty
hail
cool.
Starfleet any time during that, because imagine them hailing Starfleet 17 times with the same message over and over again.
I mean, if they
Maybe
get
while
in
they're
contact
in
with
the loop,
Starfleet, they could
they're-
just ask, right, what did we tell you that we're trying this time? So we can avoid it.
It's
Yeah.
Frasier!
Hey.
Frasier!
So, Bill,
Well,
what
maybe
kind
I
of
hear
dream
the
were you
blues
going to
call
talk
in.
about? Was like false awakening
Casting
dreams or
Cameron.
what?
No, I mean, well, if that's the term for it. But yeah, you ever have a dream where you wake up and then you realize you're still dreaming?
Yes.
A couple times.
Yeah.
One time, thankfully, this has only happened to me once, but I had a series of like 6 false awakenings in a row. Not like 6 different nights.
wow.
Just, I woke up, I thought I woke up, but it was just another dream. And then I thought I woke up from that and it was another dream. And it just kept happening. It was like 6 of them.
That's impressive.
It was nested 6 times? Wow.
It was really disorienting. I'm pretty sure I'm
I've
awake
never-
now.
Inception.
I'm pretty sure I'm not still 13, having more false awakenings.
How is 2278 here? Like what? How long has he been in the loop?
Like 80
90
years or something.
years.
30 years.
90
years.
80 years.
85?
80.
Something like that.
85?
Bye,
84,
Bozeman.
86, somewhere in there.
Why does it have a gun on the back?
It's
Because it's a Soyuz
it's
class.
a huge gun on the
But why
back
does
of
it have a gun?
Wearing the TOS movie era uniforms, right? It's old.
The uniforms are
Wouldn't it have a gun?
like from between
They should all have
Star
guns.
Trek 1 and Star Trek 2. Basically.
All right, so since that's the last episode, we can drag everyone in. So now we have 11 out of 10 people.
Fuck yeah.
Now I can
Bonus.
tell about this weird dream that I had a few nights ago
Okay.
Please do.
in real life. I dreamed that
Everyone loves hearing about other people's dreams.
Oh, we got.
Hey, I'm game.
Bill, what was your
So
dream?
I want to hear about the dream. Okay, I like hearing about dreams.
Jen, be quiet. Bill's
Tell me about the
telling us
dream.
about his dream.
I was,
Okay,
I
go.
was listening awake. Wait, don't tell me. What am I doing here?
Okay, so this was a couple nights ago. I had a dream
Yes.
that I visited Jonathan Frakes' house for some sort of
Okay.
happening. I followed him through the back door of my own parents' house and then into his house. In the backyard, I had asked him how many kids he had, and he said he had 2 before he really figured it out, and he had 3. I never learned what he really figured out, though.
Okay.
So I followed him in the back door, and a bunch of ordinary people are inside the kitchen. Maybe this was inspired by the home in the Picard episode Nepenthe, or maybe not. But there were bunch of people inside the kitchen in the living room. They were getting pasta salad and stuff, and they were eating a lunch on a summer afternoon. It was really nice. There was no homemade pizza, though. So I reclined on a couch next to the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And then
like the Disney Beauty and the Beast?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, was it animated or was it like live action, or what did it look like?
He was live action, even though I have not seen the live action movie.
So the Dan Stevens one from the. Okay, gotcha.
So then somebody across the room starts singing the song Beauty and the Beast from the closing credits of the 1991 animated movie.
Naturally.
And then somebody else starts singing the next line, and then I'm singing a line, and then I can't remember it, so then I go, I kind of fade. And so it was all particularly touching, everything, but that was kind of frustrating. And then somebody else commented, so the people in the dream knew the song, but you didn't, despite it being you who created said dream.
Yeah, that's where things get complicated, man.
So you subconsciously want to be at Jonathan Frank's house?
I mean, who doesn't?
I
consciously want to be there. You know,
This sounds like exactly the type of party that Jonathan Frakes would throw. You know, like I want. Doesn't everyone want to be at that party with the sing-alongs and
I remember
guests?
when I watched the Picard episode Nepente, I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to be there. I want to live there. I want to learn how to speak Vivine." That was
it is pretty cool.
Place to live.
Well, I always wanted to live on the Enterprise.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe it was more of the be out in the woods, Boy Scout, make your own world kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Right on.
Any comments, Ryan?
On the dream?
No, just on the episodes.
I mean, they were really good episodes today. Tomorrow's episodes of Deep Space Nine, I don't remember what they are, but I remember that they're okay. DS9 Season 5. What's going to be happening?
Way to sell it, Ryan.
Tomorrow's going to be a simple investigation where Odo gets a girlfriend. Business as usual, where we meet Cousin Gayla and Hannibal Lecter. And Ties of Blood and Water, which... Oh, right, that's Kira and Takeni Gamora getting back together as father and fake daughter. Fake father, fake daughter. And he's on his deathbed and they have a chat and it's the whole thing. And it's okay.
Ryan, I don't know if this has been mentioned before, but I'm kind of curious what the order is going to be after we finish DS9 and Voyager, if we're going to keep doing these.
Right now, my plan is after whatever show finishes first, we switch over to probably the original series. And then
the TNG movies first, right?
TOS.
Yeah, so the next we'll switch into is TOS, and then after whatever DS9 or TNG finishes second, we'll switch over to Voyager. Then after TOS ends, because it only has 3 seasons, we'll switch to Enterprise, which has 4, and then Enterprise and Voyager should end at about the same time.
And then we're just done.
No, because then we have Discovery and Picard and all that.
What about
and the new
where's
shows,
the
Lower
animated
Decks.
series?
The animated series is probably... We might do TOS, then the animated series, then Enterprise.
The animated series is very fun. I love the animated series.
That's the only one I haven't seen. We will watch it. I just haven't decided exactly where. All I know is after the current 2, it's going to be TOS and Voyager.
If you haven't seen it, then you should watch it before you do it on here.
Because I'm not going to have any idea what's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We should make our own Star Trek series.
It's so good.
I was wondering during the whole pandemic if you're going to be there, like if you're going to be here as long as that's here.
We're just going to keep going until we're out of Star Trek completely. Old Star Trek, new Star Trek. Oh no, after TNG, we need to watch the TNG movies. That's right.
Oh wait, so like, when you say we're going to keep going until we run out of Star Trek, that means that this is just going to go on for all eternity.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, presumably, yeah. Well, until we're dead, basically, yeah.
What about the J.J. Abrams movies? Are we going to watch
those will be included in there, yep.
I like Abrams' track.
Lower Decks. We're going to watch Lower Decks, too?
Literally all Star Trek we're going to be watching. Literally all of it.
We're going to watch all the Star
new
Treks.
Janeway series that's not out yet. That's for kids.
Yes, we're going to watch
that's right.
Prodigy.
Okay.
So there are going to be 5 Star Treks running simultaneously then.
Every single Star Trek that they make, we'll watch it on stream. Anyway, next week TNG. I do have other things I need to go do. I need to wrap up the stream. Next week TNG.
No.
Next week TNG is going to be Cost of Living with Alexander and the Higher the Fewer. Alexander and Loxana. The Perfect Mate, where Picard gets a girlfriend temporarily. And imaginary friend with the evil little possessed girl.
I'd just like to say also before we go real quick, I don't know if this was mentioned on stream, but the Bozeman in this episode, which they talk about like it's a hunk of garbage and 100 years old, it later fights in the Battle of Sector 001 against the Borg cube.
Yes, I mean, I assume they upgraded a little bit.
Like, I'm almost certain it got like sawn in half completely and everyone died.
No, it does. It does, and Kelsey Grammer actually has an uncredited voice cameo as captain of the Bozeman in that sequence.
Yeah. We should also watch Star Trek Continues.
I didn't
Maybe.
notice that.
I love Star Trek.
Okay, stream's over. I'm leaving. Get out of here. Go away.
We can never end the stream. Resuming direct control.